Okay, so hi everyone. I think I'm audible and visible to all of you. So good evening, everyone. Let's start with the class. So shall we start, guys? Everyone, if you can ping me in a chat. Okay, so let's start. I'm audible and visible. People are able to see me. Okay, so I believe my screen is visible to all of you. And what we are going to discuss, by the way, anyone? I believe we talked about it. Okay, so we are going to start with Afifa is saying a function. So yes, we are going to start with a function in today's class. So function in Python, I'm going to create a folder and let's get started with the function. So I'll try to take a small example and then as we will progress, so we'll try to increase a label of those examples. And with the help of that, so we'll try to understand what a function is and how it is going to work in general. So here, let me create a new file, function, function function dot ipynb. And let's select our kernel. Any kernel is going to be fine. Let me test my kernel. Yeah, so it's working. Okay, so now let's start with the concept of function. So here, basically, see, we have used a couple of functions so far. So we have used a function like a length. So if I'm going to give my name over here, so obviously length function is going to tell me that, okay, length of the this particular string is basically 4. If I'm going to use a print function, so print function is going to print something inside a console, right? So let's suppose I'm saying that my name is basically Tanshu. So obviously it is going to print something. We have used even a range function, and here we have seen that range function will be able to produce some data or it will be able to generate some sort of a data. Along with that, we have seen even a list function. So we can try to call a list function and we can try to basically build a list if I want, right? So far we have seen so many functions, and even with respect to a list we have seen a lot of inbuilt function. Even with respect to a string we have seen some sort of an inbuilt function. Even with respect to a dictionary, even with respect to a tuples, even with respect to set, we have seen a lot of inbuilt function. So these functions are basically something which someone has already created for us, right? And we are just trying to use it. We are just trying to consume it. We have not written this kind of a function on our own. But what if we can write a function on our own? So how I will be able to write it down? That's a question, and that is a question for which we'll try to even we'll try to find out the answer throughout the class. So basically, these functions are inbuilt functions. Someone has already created these functions. Someone has already written these functions, and I'm just consuming it. I'm just a consumer for these functions. But what if I have to write my own custom business logic? Because majority of time you will end up writing your own custom business logic, and in that situation, obviously you have to create a function. So let's see how we can do it. So in Python, creation of function is, I would say, one of the easiest one as compared to any other programming language. So here, if I have to create a function in case of Python, so I have to start with the keyword called as def. Basically, def means the definition of the function. So it doesn't matter what kind of a function I'm going to create, it will always start with the def, so that Python will be able to understand that you are trying to create your own custom function. So this is how Python understands. So def is a keyword by default, and wherever you will be able to see def in a beginning, so you will be able to say that, okay, fine, this is the function that I'm trying to create. So here I'm going to write def, and then let's suppose I'm giving a name of the function. So name of the function can be anything, depends upon me. Obviously, we try to follow a naming convention that we'll try to learn in a later stage, right? But yeah, so here we can try to give a name of the function, and then we can try to give a open close bracket and then quotation, right? Quotes, by the way, yeah, and then hit enter, and then inside this we can try to write what this function is going to do, basically. So this is how in general we try to create a function. So let's suppose I'm not writing anything inside this function, so it is going to give me an error, syntax error, by the way, yeah. So here, whenever you are going to create a function, so you have to write something inside a function, right? But let's suppose I don't want to write anything inside this function. So anyone who can tell me like what we should do in that situation? I don't want to write anything inside this function. So what I should do? And I don't want to get this kind of a error. Yeah. Anyone? Any idea? Continue. People are saying, I mean, like continue. Continue is for loop, right? Okay, someone is saying return. Why return? I mean, like return means I have to return something, right? I told you in a previous class, and that's the reason I keep on telling you that try to focus in your class. If you are not going to focus, you will not be able to learn. And above all, try to complete your assignments because believe me, time will pass with its own pace. And if you are not able to utilize a time, you will be having some sort of a regret. So take these things seriously. It's for you, not for me. So, okay. So yeah, I told you, right? So many times, pass basically. So pass is a reserved keyword inside a Python. And if I don't want to write a body of anything, so in that case, I can write pass. And many people have given me answer, Harsa, Anup, Manoj. So they have given me a correct answer that, okay, so pass is a something that we can try to write. So yes, pass is a keyword. So if I don't want to mention anything inside the body, I can try to write it down. Now, so this is fine, but I'm trying to create a function, right? So obviously I have to write something inside the body because function is supposed to do something. That is the whole purpose, right? That is the whole purpose behind creating a function. Otherwise, why I'm creating the function? Yeah. So let's suppose I'm going to create a function again. So obviously I'll start with what? Def, simple, right? All the time. And here I'm going to give a name of the function is equal to test1. And then colon, I'll write print over here. So print anything, maybe like hello to Euron, let's suppose. Yeah. So I'm going to write something inside a body of this function. Now let me execute this. Yeah. So let me execute this. So I have executed this function. That's completely fine. But how I will be able to use this function? Yeah. So to use this function, I have to call this function, right? I have to call this function the way you are calling all of these functions, and someone has already created these functions. And the way you were trying to call these functions in a similar manner, I can try to call test1. Simple. So this function and then open and close brackets. So function. So this will not be executed unless and until I'm not calling it. So this is called as call of the function. So wherever I want, I can try to call it unless and until I'm not restarting my system or maybe my compiler or maybe my VS Code or maybe my kernel, right? So if I'm going to restart my kernel, this will be gone. Again, I'll have to re-execute. Then only I will be able to access it. Otherwise, so simple test, and here I'm able to call test1, and yeah, so whatever I have written inside this function, I'm able to print it. Very, very simple, right? Very, very simple. So you can try to create a function and then you can try to print or write anything that you want. It's up to you. You will be able to get it. But there is a problem in this, right? There is a problem in this. Everything looks good to me for now, but there is a problem. What is the problem, right? I'll tell you that problem. So here, it's trying to print something. This function is trying to print something, right? Okay. Now, let's say this test1 has given me some like a data output, test1, right? And I'm trying to store this output into some variable. So function is giving me some output and I'm trying to store this one into some variable like a. Yeah. And then maybe I'll try to perform this a plus sudh, right? A plus sudh. Yeah. I'll try to perform. Now, this is the issue. Maybe many of us are not able to understand that what exactly the issue is, but yeah, this is the issue. Now, what is the issue? I mean, like I'm saying, this is the issue, but what exactly the issue is? Because many of you will say that I don't see any issue in that, right? So see, the problem is that I have written a function, and function is trying to give me an output. Yeah, output in terms of print, right? I have written print over here. Looks good, right? I'm able to call this function. Everything looks good to me. But like I said, there is a problem. Problem is that whenever you are trying to give an output of the function by using print function, yeah, that output is completely you will not be able to use technically that particular output. A reason is very simple. You can check what is a type of A. I am trying to store this, right? So what is a type of A? It's a none type. Now with none type, you will not be able to perform any kind of a primitive operation. And that is the reason it's telling me when I'm trying to perform a concatenation operation, a string concatenation operation. So it is telling me that no, I will not be able to perform. Not just a string concatenation operation, you will not be able to perform any kind of a operation if your data is none type. That is the problem I was talking about. So even if you're going to hover your mouse and if you'll try to check that what print actually does, or what print actually returns. So print by default returns none type by default. So technically you will not be able to do anything. It's not a string. It's not something else, right? It's a none type. So with none type, you will not be able to do anything. So what is the solution? Yeah. What is the solution? So solution is whenever you are going to create a function, you should not use return wise. You should not use output wise print. That is a solution. Yeah. Then what we are supposed to use, right? Because if there is a function, and let me tell you the very basic definition of function, I think that you should remember for your entire life. What I understand, or what you will be able to understand in a later stage as a function, is a kind of an entity which will take some input, give you some output. That's it. So if someone is going to ask you a question, what is a function, right? Then not in the function is nothing but just an entity which takes input and give me output. In between, so obviously there will be some logic which we are going to involve. Again, you can cross question me that, okay, you are saying that it takes input and then gives output. Now here it's not taking input. We'll try to figure it out. We'll try to correct our definition. But yeah, that is maybe a counter that you can give it to me. That we'll try to discuss in a later stage. But function simply means that take some input, give me output. That's it. Now, just see. So here, let's create maybe a test2 function, right? I'm not giving any input, by the way. And then try to use a keyword called as return. And you will be using return all the time. Function should always give you a final output as a return all the time. Why I'm telling you this, I'll explain you that. So let's suppose I'm trying to return SUDH. Yeah, I'm trying to return SUDH. Let's call test2. So test2 will give me what? Test2 will give me SUDH. It is trying to return what? It is trying to return SUDH. Now return is a reserved keyword. It's been used inside a function all the time. And let's suppose if I'm going to check what is the type of the return this test2 is giving me, string, str. Yeah. Let's suppose if I have written a function over here, let's suppose a test3, and if I'm writing return and return 56 or something, right? Now if I'll try to check what is the type of return of basically test3, integer, right? Let's suppose if I'm writing a function over here, test maybe like a 4 over here, and I'm trying to return maybe a list in this place. And then if I'll try to check what is the type of basically this test4, right? What is the type of test4? It is going to be list. So are you able to understand something, guys? Why we are using return? Why we are using return? Any answer from your side? Yes? Yeah, to hold some value. Not to hold some value, I would say. See, return simply means that return. Just go after the meaning of return. Return means what? Give me something. Return me something, right? So just try to go after the English meaning of return. And that is the actual meaning, even in Python, right? Return simply means that whatever you have, return it to me. Means whatever. So see, if I'm giving you something, let's suppose we have Kalpesh, right? So I'm going to give Kalpesh this particular pen. Yeah, this particular pen. So what Kalpesh will return me? This pen. Let's suppose we have a Rakesh, right? In a class. If I'm going to give Rakesh this mobile phone, so what Rakesh will return me? Mobile phone, right? Rakesh will not return me pen. Yeah. So if I'm giving mobile phone to you, you will return me mobile phone. If I'm giving you pen to you, you will return me what? You will return me pen. Are you able to understand now? In case of print, what we will get all the time? In case of print, can I say I will get all the time none type? and with that I will not be able to do any operation. But in case of return, whatever I have given to you, you will return to me. Simple. Means technically, like if there is a string, it will return a string. If there is an integer, it will return integer. If there is a list, it will return list. If there is a tuple, it will return tuple. Simple. So this is why, that's the reason. So we are going to use a return. The example which I have given to you. So if I'm giving you pen, you will return me pen. If I'm giving you mobile, you will return me mobile. So it's not like if I'm giving you mobile, you will return me like like a pen or pencil or something. Yeah, that is the meaning of a return, by the way. So it will return as it is, and that is the reason. So we are using return. Very, very simple. And everywhere you will have to use a return at the last statement. Means whatever function is going to give it to you. There is an alternative of return which I'll talk. There is something called as yield, uh, which helps us, like to create basically a generator object or generator function. But let's not talk about that for now. So return over here, right? Okay, now, so here it is able to return something. So all the time, whenever you are trying to like, write a function, always write a return. In between, you can write a print. I don't have any issue, or Python will not be having any issue. But as a final output, you should always write a return. So start with def and then return. Fine, give me some output. Now, so function is an entity which can take some input. For example, here we are using type function, right? Here we are using type function. Someone has already created this type function. So every time we are trying to pass our data, and is trying to do what? So basically it is trying to check the type of the data and then giving it to me. This is what type function does all the time, right? All the time. So someone has written this type function. Similarly, so we can try to create basically a function. Let's suppose def test 5 we can try to create, and we can try to pass some input, maybe 4 comma 5, right? 4 comma 5 is an input we can try to provide, and then maybe return 4 plus 5, or 4 comma 5 itself we can try to return. So maybe 4 comma 5 itself we can try to return. Why there is a syntax error? Test 5 4 comma 5. Oh, we have to pass a variable a comma b. So we'll try to pass 4 comma 5 while calling. My bad. So a comma b. So see, we are trying to do what? So we are trying to pass a comma b, and then we are trying to return a comma b. It simply means that whenever I'm going to call, right? So let's suppose if I'm going to call maybe test 5. So here I can try to pass 3 comma 4. What it is returning me? Tuple as per the return. 3 comma 4. Simple, right? It is going to return. I can even hold this value into a variable a. Yes. So now a is what? So a is basically 3 comma 4. If it is returning me two values separately, two values, right? I can hold it in one single variable. I can even hold this one into a separate variable. 5 comma 6, I can try to hold it inside a comma b. So a will become 5, b will become 6. So return means it can return not just one value, it can return two value, three value, and even 200 values. So when you will be having a multiple value return, in that case it will hold it as a tuples. Now, so you can like take a store a data into one variable, or maybe into a multiple variable and placeholder, you will be able to store the data. Very, very simple, right? Return wise. But yeah, it will just return as it is. It never change anything, right? It never changes anything. Now here what I'm trying to teach you is that I can try to pass a value. I can try to pass a data over here. So a comma b. So whenever I'm going to call, I should give a comma b. For example, so here let's suppose if I'm trying to call maybe a test 5, and I'm trying to give like a 5 over here, execute. It will give me error, because the reason is that when I have defined this function, yeah, when I have defined this function, sorry, so test 5, right? Here, when I have defined this function, so at the time of defining this function, I have passed how many data? 2. When I'm trying to call this function, how many data we are trying to pass? Only 1. That is the reason it is telling me that missing one required positional argument. Yeah, b. So it is looking for a value of b, and you are not giving a value of b, and that is the reason it is giving you a issue. As simple as that. So here, whenever you are trying to call a function, you should always follow a signature of the function. What is the signature of the function? This one. So if there is a two variable, you should pass two variable for now, at least. Yeah. So you have to pass a two variable over here, then only this function is going to work. Otherwise, it is going to give you a issue. If someone has created a function with only one variable, 1, 3, 3, 100, 100. Very simple, right? So in that way, you have to create a function all the time. So here I'm creating a function. I'm trying to pass a comma b. So obviously I have to pass a value of a and value of b. Internally, it will be able to map. So internally, it will be able to understand that value of a is equals to what? Value of a is equals to 5 and value of b is what? Value of b is equal to 6. Automatically, it will be able to understand, right? So 5 comma 6, and that you can check even, right? So that you can check even. So value of a is equal to 5, value of b is equal to 6, automatically it is able to understand. Or else what you can do? So or else you can try to pass a data even in this way. So test 5, and then here a is equals to, or maybe I can write maybe b first. That is also possible. Python allows you. So b is equal to 7, a is equal to what? So a is equals to basically a 4. But it will print what? 4 7. Reason is, in return you are printing a first and b second. Yeah, you're returning a first and b second. So it will return in its own order, doesn't matter in which order. But yeah, so here you can label your data, and then with that label you can try to provide, and in that case order doesn't matters. If you are not giving a and b, in that case obviously order matters. By default it will try to take the same order in which you are trying to pass the data. So now what I'm trying to make like a statement over here is that function is a very very simple entity which takes input and give me output. In between I can write my own logic. Yeah, in between I can write my own logic. Now you can say that okay, so we can anyhow write a logic without creating a function. Then why do we need function? Yeah, so function you need it because you have to increase a usability, right? Reusability. If you are not writing a function, so again and again and again and again you have to write those script based code, line by line code, and then you will have to execute it. But if you are going to create a function, so create once and then use it as many times as possible. So basically your code will move towards a modularity. That is a main reason. So reusability, modularity of the code, clean code you can say, and managed code, you will be able to write it down with the help of function. I'll give you one example. So here, let's suppose we have a list, right? Let's suppose we have a list. Now, if I'm going to ask you a question that try to filter out, all the even number from the list. Yeah. Try to filter out all the even number from the list. So you all will be able to do it for I in L. And then basically like if I percentile 2 is equal to 0, in that case, try to print I. Yeah. All of you will be able to give me this output, right? Let's suppose I'm looking for maybe like a final result as a list. So maybe I can create L1 over here as a blank L1, and then just do something like a L1 dot append I. Yeah. So I will be able to get a new list over here. Yeah, I will be able to get a new list over here, and where I can, uh, filter out all the even values, and I will be able to hold it. This is something that we have already done many times, right? Even till yesterday's class, we have done that. Yeah. Now I have to do it again. I have list basically L2, right? And inside L2, let's suppose I have some data, maybe like this kind of a data. Now, again, if I'm going to ask you a question that try to, filter out all the even number. Can I say you will have to copy and paste similar kind of a code again here? Then only you will be able to do it. Yes. Yeah, everyone. So let's suppose this is a problem statement that we have. So obviously I'll try to, based on the knowledge that you have so far, right? Based on the discussion that we have done till yesterday. So this is something that we will be doing, right? This is something that we'll be doing. Again, this is bad. It looks bad. Same code, same line again and again we are writing. So what if I can create one single function, I can just call it every time, right? Which will be able to filter out a even number from a list. Possible, right? Let's do it. So here we'll try to create a function. So filter even list. Yeah. So basically I'll try to provide some data list over here into this function. Fine. I'll try to hold some like values over here for I in L, and finally return L1. Yeah. Finally return L1. So see, same logic. Logic is not changed. Yeah, logic is not logic. So function is not equal to logic, by the way. Function is just an entity where you are trying to create a wrapper, basically. right? A box where you will try to put something and you will be able to extract something. That's it, right? So function is like that. So here I'm trying to create a function which will take some like a data. That data should be list, by the way, and then it should do some operation and then return a list. Now here, so if I'm like, if I have to use this function, so filter even list, I can try to provide my list over here, right? I can try to provide maybe a list element over here. And without, writing this line of code again and again, simple, call this function, pass the data, my work is done. Yes, call the function, pass the data, my work is done. Very, very simple. I don't have to do anything, means literally anything I have to do it. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me close my VS Code and open up once again. It's not loading the definition. Yeah, now it's loading the definition. See, this is what I was trying to like, I wanted to show you basically. So if it's not working in your system, maybe just like close it, open it, it will work. So here, as you can see, so there is a definition of the function, right? And by default, it is telling me this definition that there is a name, there is some input it is taking, and as a return, it will always return a list, right? Always return a list. This is something that I'm able to understand. And doesn't matter how many lists we have to filter out. I just have to call this function. I don't have to, write this function. So write once, use 100,000 million times you want, right? You want. So this is a beauty of the function, by the way. So where I'm trying to like input, taking output in between, I'm trying to keep my logic. Whatever logic that we have for whatever purpose, I'm creating a function. For example, length function, purpose is to like give you a length. Type function, purpose is to give you the data type, right? Likewise, every function will be having its own purposes and accordingly it will try to give you the return. Okay, cool. Now here, so we are trying to create a function. Now it looks like we are trying to pass some data, L, let's suppose, right? But for unknown people, what is the meaning of L? No one will be able to understand, right? What is the meaning of L, by the way? Yeah. Or maybe I'll write A over here. Now, how you will understand, like for I in A, something like this. Yeah. Still, it will work. Function will work, right? Because inside this, it is processing a list. Now, if you are going to hover your mouse, it is telling you A. Now, what is A? Right? Let's suppose some unknown person is using my function. How that unknown person will be able to understand that what kind of a input I should give to this function, right? Unknown person will not be able to understand. And obviously, you tomorrow when you will try to write a function, right? You are going to publish your libraries. You are going to like write a code, and maybe you will leave the company. Some next person will come and they will look into your code. So how they will be able to understand in the easiest possible manner, right? Maybe you have to maintain the documentation. So how you will be able to maintain it? So keeping that in a mind, so obviously we have to follow some sort of a convention when we are trying to create a function, so that we can try to make it industry grade, so that other people who are going to use it should not feel a pain. Yes, should not feel a pain at the end of the day. So here, let's suppose we are writing A. Doesn't matter what name of the variable we have written over here. So, and again, Python is a self-typed language. I told you in a very, very first class. Simply means that Python can understand data type automatically, right? So you don't have to say that what kind of a variable you should pass. But here, so there is a notation in Python. There is a provisioning that you can do. So notation means you can notify the user. How? So let's suppose if I'm saying that, okay, this list, now execute. And now if someone is going to hover my mouse, so they will be able to understand that you are supposed to pass a list. Yeah. Can I say that? So this is just a provision. It's not mandatory. Even if you're not going to write it, that's completely okay. Because Python is a self-typed programming language. It can understand data type or input automatically, right? But just to make other people understand, right, when other people are going to use my function. So here we have give a notification. So in this way you can try to notify that, okay, so this is going to take input as this. And in all the standard library, if you'll go and check GitHub, all the standard library or standard piece of code, everywhere you will be able to find out that people write a code in this way, and even you should write a code in that way. That should be a common practice. I'm not saying that even if you're not going to write it, then it will not work. No, it will work, right? But yeah, you have to make it standardized. You have to notify user that you are supposed to use or give a input in this way. For example, I am notifying that give a input as a list, right? I'll try to copy this. I'll not give a input as a list. I'll try to pass as a tuple. I'll try to pass as a tuple over here. Will it work? Will it work? Yeah. So everyone is saying no. Okay. No. See, don't give me an answer without thinking. Execute. It worked. It works. Now, what is the reason? Tell me. What is the reason? I think I told you a reason for that. But it asked for a list. This is what I was trying to explain you. This is what I was trying to tell you, that this is just a notification. This is not mandatory. If I have written list over here, this is what I told you, right? That Python never makes these things mandatory. This is just for a other user. If some other user is going to use your function, let's suppose you have published this function as a library, some people are downloading it and using it. So it's for that other person. It's a notification that you are giving that this is the input and this is the output. It's not mandatory. Yeah, it's not mandatory. So as a value of a, I can pass anything of my choice. I can pass list over here. I can pass tuple over here. And let me pass my name over here. Is it work? Is it going to work? Yeah, not working. Obviously, so it works twice. In case of list, in case of tuple, it worked. In case of my name, obviously, it is not going to work. Reason is very simple. See, a value can be anything. You can pass any value of your choice. That's completely okay. But it will be rejected by the logic, right? You are trying to iterate over to it, and then you are trying to, for every I, means for every iteration, you are trying to check this one. So obviously, in this case, for S, it will try to check this even number. It will fail, right? It will fail. And because of that, it is giving me an error over here. As you can see the arrow. Yeah. But it can take everything, and it will fail on a logic label. It is never going to fail on this label. As you can see, it's failing. It's failing where? It's failing line number 4, not at the time of an entry. Means you can pass anything. Value of a can be anything. Although I have mentioned list, but that is just a notification. That is just to notify other user or maybe myself, right? Maybe after 1 year I will start using a function. I don't remember that what I have passed, right? I'll just try to call those functions. Now, is it making sense to all of us? Okay, so now Rakesh is saying because string is not iterable. Is it? String is not iterable? How many times I should tell you this? For I in Sudhanshu, print Sudhanshu, it's iterable. String is iterable. Yeah, because it is failing here. It's completely it's showing me in an error, right? It's failing here. So when it will try to do I percentile, means let's suppose S percentile 2. Now this percentile operation, remainder operation is not valid with respect to string or character, right? It is failing over there, not at a entry point. So just try to understand what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm simply saying that you can pass anything. It will not fail. It will not reject, basically, right? It is rejecting on a logic label, not as a entry point. Reason is very simple, and I'm just trying to explain you this part, this which is a standardization part. Basically, like you are notifying someone. You are just trying to say that okay, whenever you will use my function, try to use this one. So ideally, other person should not even use tuple, although tuple is a valid entity of, like it is working with tuple, but ideally person who is using my function should not use it if I have notified. That is what I wanted to say. So even this is wrong, although it will work, but this is also wrong. That is the reason. So I have mentioned the notification. And whenever you are going to use any inbuilt function, so for example, if you are using maybe a length function over here, right? So everywhere you will be able to find out the notification that this is the function, this is the this one. It can accept any object, and it is going to return you what? Integer. Can I say that length function always return the integer? Yes. And you can try to pass object sized object basically. So you can pass a string, list, tuples, whatever you want. So this is a notification that is given to you, and you should just obey that notification. Is it fine? Yeah. Now call any inbuilt function now, and just hover your mouse and just try to check it basically. So type, hover it. So type function, what it is going to take, any kind of a object, and it is going to return me what? The object type. So this is just a notification which is given to me. So anyone and everyone who creates a function, so they always try to mention that, and you should also do that. That is a standard practice that you should also always follow. Even if you will not do it, it's completely okay. No one is going to force you. Now, moving next. So here we are able to do some sort of a notification. Now, one more thing we can do over here. So for example, we have a print function, right? We have a print function over here. Now let's suppose I'm holding my mouse. So it is giving me notification that you can enter all of these things. Basically, these are the parameter. This is called as parameter, right? So you can set all of these parameter, and it is going to return you what? It is going to return you none. Yeah, none type, we always know. Apart from that, so you will be able to see some write-ups as well. Yeah, you will be able to see some write-ups as well. So someone has mentioned that this is this function is going to do. So this is called as doc string. In Python programming language, it's called as doc string, a document string basically. So documenting, you can say another way. So let's suppose if I'm creating my function, this function, and if I wanted to say same thing to my user, something, anything, it's anything means literally anything to my user, I can do that. How? So I can try to mention a doc string in a English, plain English, or whatever I wanted to mention, I can just mention it. How? Simple, triple quote, start and end. And in between, whatever you are going to write, it will be considered as a doc string. It is not going to execute, right? It is just for the showcasing purposes. So I can say that this function will take input as a list, and it will try to go uh, through it, and it will uh, give you a list of even number as a return. Fine. So this is something that I have written. Fine. This is something which I have written in my own way. Now, if I'm going to call this function, now if I'll try to call this function, filter even list, right? Now, if you will try to hover your mouse, are you able to see this English write-up that I have mentioned? Are you able to see this English write-up, guys? Yes. Yeah. This is also a standard approach. Again, if you are not going to write it, okay. No one is going to complain. It will never give you error. Yes. But again, it's just to, make your user understand, or maybe someone who will join a company after you and they will look into your code. So just to make them comfortable, what do we do? So we try to write all of these things, whatever we want, whatever we would like to explain to the next person, so that anyone who is going to use this function, they will be able to understand it, that okay, I have to pass this, I have to, even about a logic, maybe if you would like to give us some sort of explanation, you can try to do it, right? So this is called as doc string. So this and this data type which I'm trying to give over here, input and output, this is just for the notification purpose. So even if you're not going to give it, it is because it's not a part of execution, by the way. Yeah, it's not a part of execution. Fine. Are we able to understand the fundamentals of function, guys? Everyone? Yeah. Quick in a chat, please. And if you have any kind of a question, so yeah, try to put up those questions inside a chat. Yeah. So it's easy, by the way, right? Do you feel like creating a function is something very different or something difficult? Yes or no? Is it okay? So everyone's saying no. So actually, it's nothing. Whatever we have been doing since last 3 4 classes, right? So what we are doing, we are just trying to wrap it up with some name, and we are just trying to give a return, so that we can try to make our code reusable. Simple, right? That is the only layer we are trying to add. Apart from that, we are not trying to add any other layer. So function is fundamentally not a very new concept. It's the same thing, just one single layer we are trying to add, or once like a small learning things, learning curve we are trying to attach on top of the discussion that we have done till yesterday. Okay, so this is a fundamental. Now let's move ahead. Let's suppose I'm trying to create a function test6 over here. And here, like I said, so I can try to pass any number of a data. So a comma b comma c comma d comma e, whatever number of data I would like to like pass, I can try to pass it. And whatever I would like to do with that data, I can do that as well. So anything and everything is possible over here. So this is called as parameter, or you can say argument. So argument of the function we can try to pass. Now, let's start creating some function which is going to be the useful function, right? Which will be going to be the useful function. So here, let's suppose we are going to create a function which is going to give a discount on course. So let's suppose we are offering 10% discount, right? So maybe I can try to create a function for that. So anyone and everyone who can call that function, they will be able to get 10% of discount. Simple, right? So here, discount, right? Discounted price. I don't want this like auto completion for this. Okay, so discounted price, right? Now here, let's try to enter one argument, pri price, right? We can try to enter maybe a discount over here, right? We can try to enter a discount over here. Now, here we have a price and we have a discount, two argument, right? We have two argument over here. Now, so what we can do, so we can try to maybe give a pre-filled value of a discount. So maybe like a 10%, right? Maybe 10%. So pre-filled value of the discount. So price we can try to enter when we are going to call the function, and discount we can try to like give it over here, default discount. Default discount is basically 10%. Yeah, 10% discount. So then we are going to give a return. So return is nothing but price minus price into a discount. So this is like, let's suppose going to be a final price. So this is going to be the final price. Price into price minus price into discount means 10% of discount minus price is going to be my final price. Yeah, discounted price. Okay, fine. Now just call this discounted price, and let's suppose we are selling a course, right? We are selling a course in like a 5,000 rupees. Okay, 5,000 rupees. Execute. So obviously after discount, by default, it is trying to apply how much discount? 10% of discount. And you will be able to get a course in 4,500 rupees. Yeah. But there will be some user who will come and who will ask for additional discount, who will talk to a team and they will say that no, you are giving 10% of discount, but I'm looking for more because I'm your like a very, very old user. I'm like learning from you since a very, very long time. And I have given you a lot of referrals. So obviously team is going to offer a additional discount in that case, right? So here by default 10% discount is applicable. I can call the same function. So in a backend, team can call the same function, right? And they can try to put up a same price, 5,000. Apart from that, they can try to even give a discount is equals to 20%, let's suppose. So this time it will try to apply 20% discount. So this time my price is going to be 4,000. Now what I'm trying to show you over here, what I'm trying to show you over here, that if you are trying to give some argument, if you're trying to give some parameter, you can try to fix its value. And at the time of function call, if this parameter value is available, right? If you have fixed these values, or if you have, given some default value, it will not ask for second argument. It is not asking for a discount, right? This line number 14 is not asking for a discount. Yeah. But if you would like to override the old value, you can override it. That is something which I'm trying to tell you. right? That is something which I'm trying to tell you, that in case of function, so you can try to give a default value to some variable, and then you can try to override it. Simple. Yeah, override it. Override doesn't mean that you will like replace numbers with something different, some string or some list or something. No, because it will not fail here. It will fail where? In logic it will fail. Yeah, in logic it will fail. So this is something which I'm trying to tell you, that you can try to create a default variable, you can try to pass the data, and then you can try to even change its value or override its value as per your choice, as per your need. As simple as that. Okay, fine. That's cool. Now, so let's try to write a couple of more function. Yeah. Okay. So now let's try to understand this kind of function once. So let's suppose we have def test 7. Yeah, we have def test 7. And here, like I said, I can try to pass any number of a argument. Sorry, any number of argument I can try to pass over here. Means any number of the data input I can try to pass it over here. 3, 4, 10, 300, 3000, whatever I want, I can try to do it. But there will be a problem, right? There will be a problem. Now, what is a problem, by the way? Yeah. So, what is a problem? So, here, let's suppose I'm trying to create a function. Let's suppose a sum all kind of function I'm trying to create. Now, it is going to take A, B, C, D, E, F, I, G, H, and then execute. It will try to do a summation. I'm going to call sum all, and I'm going to pass a value for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. It will work. Yeah, it will work. If I'm going to pass one value less as compared to a number of argument, it will not work. If I'm going to pass one value more as compared to the number of argument or number of parameter, again it will not work, right? So in this case it is telling me that missing one. In this case it is telling me that take 10 position argument but 11 were given. Yeah. So basically I'm trying to create a summation kind of a function, so where I have a requirement that I can pass maybe a 2 value, 3 value, 5 value, 10 value. It should do a summation for me, right? It should do a summation for me. So are we supposed to go and create that many number of functions, summation function? So summation function for taking two arguments, summation function for taking three argument, four argument, five argument, 10 argument, because this is not working for me, right? This is not working for me for all number of argument. This is going to accept only this many, means this many. Less or more will be a problem for me. Yes, guys. Are you able to understand the problem statement? Yeah. Are you able to understand the problem statement? What I'm trying to say? See, my problem is very simple. I have this summation function, and yeah, so when I'm trying to pass a value of A, B, C, D, E, F, I, J, works fine for me. No issue. But when I give one less number of argument, it crashes. When I give one more number of argument, it crashes. Now someone has told me that try to create a summation all kind of a function which can take any number of argument, maybe two, maybe three, maybe 200, and in every case it should work. Yeah, in every case it should work, right? So basically, with this approach, I can't do it, right? With this approach, I can't do it. So there is a provision inside a Python. So where you can try to provide any number of data, any number of argument in a runtime. How we can create such function? So def sum all. Let's suppose I'm going to create, and here, so what you can write? You can write a static of args, static of argument. So just argument, not this one. So you can write a static of arg. Now, sum all, sum all, right? Worked, sum all. These many values, yeah, worked, sum all, maybe like two, three values, yeah, work. So now the same sum all is working for these many number of argument, two, three argument, these many number of argument means it is going to work for all number of arguments, by the way, right? It is going to work for all number of argument. So this, what is the meaning of this, by the way? ARGS, static of ARGS. Let me show you that part. So what actually it takes. So here, def test 7, let's suppose I'm going to create, and here I'm writing ARGS, right? ARGS, and just return ARGS, nothing different, right? Now let me show you what it actually takes internally. 6 comma 7 comma, so let's suppose I'm passing 4 argument. So what it is returning? What is the type of data? Yes, what is the type of this data? It's visible, right? Tuple. Yeah, it's tuple. So basically, whatever value you give, so whatever value I'm giving over here, here, or here, it is trying to wrap it up inside tuples, right? It is trying to wrap it up inside tuples. Now, with that tuple, whatever you wanted to do, you can do it. So summation, obviously, it works. Sum function, obviously, it works on a tuple. So technically, it's taking tuples. So whatever processing or whatever logic that you are writing, you should always write with respect to tuple, right? So that you will be able to take those data and then you will be able to process it. Some by default takes a tuples or list as well, right? It will be able to do a summation of it. So originally it is taking what? It is taking tuple. That is something that you have to understand. Then only you will be able to write an internal logic, right? If you are taking multiple data. Now, so here we have ARGS, and almost every places wherever you will see this kind of a code, right? You will be able to see ARGS. So do we have ARGS as a keyword? Does, like, can I say ARGS is a keyword in Python? Can I make this statement? Yeah. Can I make a statement that ARGS is a keyword? So yeah, yes, yeah. Tell it should be right. I'm expecting yes from everyone. The answer is no. So ARGS is not a keyword. By the way, it's a simple variable. I'll show you that. So here def, and then like suppose I'm writing test over here, test 8, and here static SUDH. I'm writing my name, right? And then return SUDH. It works. Test 8, it works. ARGS is not a keyword. You will see ARGS everywhere. That's completely fine. That's like a kind of a norm that people have adopted as a ARGS, right? Arguments, basically, right? A static of arguments. ARGS is not a keyword. I can write my name over here, as you can see, and it is going to behave in the same way. The main part is static. So single static. So single static means you can pass any number of data, right? So basically, this is what it means. ARGS is not a keyword. If someone is going to ask you next time, you can say no, not yes. Okay, fine. So here we are like able to do this, and ARGS is not a keyword. That is something that we are able to understand, and we can try to pass any number of data now. We can try to pass any number of argument now, and not just any number. I would say any kind. For example, I'm trying to pass like integer, 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 right? I can pass SUDH. I can try to pass list over here, and everything will be wrapped up inside what? Tuple. Because this static which I'm talking about, or let's suppose ARGS, args that I'm talking about, it always try to bind all the data into a tuples. So if you are writing some sort of a logic to process this input data, the data that is going inside your function, you should always write in a manner of tuple. Then okay. So Python is fun. Yeah, Python is actually like very simple, fun, and anyone and everyone can understand, right? That is how Python is just like even easier than learning English language, English or any other languages, I would say. Yeah, this is how Python is. That's the reason. So Python is one of the most advanced and used language in this entire world in last couple of years, even by a non-coder, right? Even by a non-coder researcher, everyone, because you don't have to like work more on coding part. You have to like work more and more on logic part. You can focus more on algorithm logic and all those things, and easily you can write a code, right? Other languages are like for me, I have started my professional coding journey from Java, then Scala, then cell scripting, then SQL and all those things in between, and then Python and even R in between. Python is literally one of the best, I would say, right? So 5 year back when I used to teach a big data, so at that point of time I was teaching like big data in Scala. Then before that Java, and yeah, so I have done coding, professional level coding, I would say, in all of this programming language, and I can simply say that Python is one of the best and easiest and simplest. So yeah, this is how Python is. Now, so here we have like yeah, like I said, so you can try to pass any kind of a data here, and technically it returns everything in a tuples. So whenever you are writing processing logic, so let's suppose you are writing something inside a function body to process this input data, always you have to write it with respect to a tuples. This is fine. Now, let's suppose I have to pass a data in a key value pair. Yeah, any number of data I want, I can try to pass it. So to do that, in Python, there is a double static provision of double static KWARGS. Generally, people say keyword args, this one, right? So what is the meaning of this one? Meaning of single static means try to pass a data. I'll hold it inside a tuples. Now do whatever you want with that data with tuple. Now there is a keyword args. Keyword args means key value pair. We talked about dictionary, and dictionary always understands what? Key value pair, right? So here you can try to, so if there is a function which requires input and any number of input, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 100, whatever, right? But in a key value kind of a pair. So you can try to create a keyword arg. So let's suppose if I'm calling a text over here, and here if I'm trying to like pass some data. For example, if I'm trying to pass a, so I should pass a is equal to 3, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 5 in this way, and internally how it will hold a data. Tell me how it will hold the data. Internally, so basically you have to pass key value. So key is equal to then value, key is equal to and then value, and internally how it will hold a data in a form of dictionary. So basically you are going to process a dictionary based data, right? Internally, it's visible, right? It's clearly visible, and we already talked about dictionary. Yeah, in our chapters we already talked about a dictionary. It simply means that I can try to pass as many data as I want, right? Whatever kind of a data I would like to pass, I can try to pass it. Maybe like a list L is equals to uh, some values, right? And then maybe like m is equal to Dhanshu, and then n is equal to some tuples. Everything is fine. Everything will be holded as a key value pair inside a dictionary. So whenever you are trying to process this input data, whenever you are writing a logic inside, right, you should always keep dictionary in a mind. And by keeping dictionary in a mind only, you should write a logic to process the data. It's as simple as that. Hope it is making sense to all of us, guys. Yeah, and all of you are enjoying the Python coding. Yes. Anyone who is not able to understand anything, just let me know. Let me know in a chat. So maybe I can try to like give you more attention, and that will help you out in terms of learning. Yeah. Anyone in a class? No one? Then that's great. I mean, like, good for me. Keyword args is a key word or not? Yeah, you tell me. Okay. Now again, same question. So keyword args is a KW args is a reserved keyword. Yes or no? I think we have answer in a group. You can just try to put my name, your name, and yeah, it is not a reserved keyword. Just notation. Generally, people use it, but yeah, it's not a reserved keyword. So basically, it's double static, which is doing the actual job. So single static and double static, that is doing the actual job. This args and keyword args is not a inbuilt or you can say reserved keyword. So maybe you can just give your name and then you can check it out. Yeah. Okay. Only I feel that Python is behaving some different that earlier. Oops. Only I feel that Python is behaving some different than earlier. Oops language. No, it's actually like behaving in a simplistic way. Other programming language gives you some sort of a complexity. Believe me, when I'll talk about this oops concept in Python, right? Uh, Maybe if you're not comfortable with oops, you will be comfortable in one or two class itself. Yeah. So that is my assurity that I can tell you that you will be very comfortable. In Python, people have actually simplified things. So whatever complexity that we had in other programming languages, they have already removed all of those complexities. Even oops, I would say. Okay, so this is this. Fine. We can create a function. Now, and I'm going to give you a lot of assignment, guys. And believe me, just complete my assignment even with AI. But yeah, type a code by yourself. That will be more than enough. You don't have to go and then revise and then relearn the concept even for next like 1 or 2 year, right? But yeah, if you're doing assignment, if you're just like coming to the class and watching a lectures, that will not help, not even 1%. Joined a class today, okay, not an issue. So just go with your own pace. See, those who are joining like a class, those who have joined class recently, right? Videos are already available in your free time, again without taking any kind of pressure. Chillax and then try to go through all of those lecture which I have already like delivered, and then in your own pace start learning. But yeah, try to join all the classes because that is called as discipline and consistency, and that will help you out a lot in terms of learning anything and everything. Not just learning, I would say, in terms of achieving everything in a life. So sir, best way to learn the logic after seeing the solution in AI model. See, there is nothing called as best or worst way. We are human being, right? We are not machine, by the way. So no one can program us that you should always go in this direction. So we all have a different kind of a direction. The best way is sit tight as long as you can, at least in your initial days while you are trying to learn, and solve a real problem after learning. After like beyond that, there is like uh, no advice. How to build a logic? By solving a real problem. I used to give a lot of like assignments. I used to going forward. Now I'm giving you assignments. Going forward, once we'll start a machine learning, you will see that I'm giving you challenges. I'm asking you to do like a build a project or build a model and then do a deployment, do this, do that. So a lot of challenges in a lot of domains. You will have to do it, and if you are going to do it, that will be your real learning. And this is how you will learn how to build a logic. And I have seen that this question, everyone asks this question, how to build a logic. Tell me one thing, which logic? Yeah, there can be a billion, not billions, I would say, a trillions of combinations of the logic in all the domain, in all the scenario, in even in your life, right? Which logic? How many logic you will learn? So logic is something that comes out of our mind when our mind solves things in a step by step manner. Now, to do that, we have to train our brain to think in that manner. And for that, so you have to build something, right? How many more days left to end a Python session? So, are you feeling bored, LPs? Okay. I think chapter wise, maybe you can just go and count. It will take sufficient amount of time. Maybe like next 1 more month of time it will take. Yeah. But don't worry, I'll make sure that you are learning for an entire life, not just for a couple of months, if you are focused enough. Okay, so enough of Non-programming discussion. Let's come back to programming. Yeah, come back to programming now. The rest of the question you can ask in a doubt clearing session. Okay, so this is this. Now, there is a kind of a function that I can create in a single line, right? And that function is called as lambda function. It's not like I can't create it in this way. I can do it, but in Python, you will be able to see basically a pattern, right? Basically, so where you will be able to come and you will be able to write a code in one single line. So that is something called as anonymous function or lambda function or a function without name. For example, so let's suppose we have to create a function so which will take input and input as an integer, let's suppose a very simple one, and it will give me output as a square of the integer. Yeah. So function I can try to create a square of number. So maybe this number square of number. So maybe this kind of a function I can try to create. So which will try to take one input data and then it will try to return what? A square of the number. So a square. So a to the power 2 it is going to return. Okay, that's fine. I can try to call this function and I will be able to pass any kind of a data over here and I will be able to get a square of it. That's okay. Same function if I have to write in one single line, I can write that as well. So that is called as shorthand or you can say lambda function. So this is my lambda function. So lambda is a reserved keyword inside a Python. Yeah, you can't place your name over here. It should be lambda all the time so that Python can understand. So lambda is a reserved keyword. And here in case of lambda function, you will be able to see that it is trying to take input. So here we write a input and then on other side of this column, we write what kind of a output that we are looking for in one single line itself. Yeah, in one single line itself. Now the question is that how it will be called. We are writing this function in this manner. That's okay. But how I'm going to use this function, where I'm going to pass my data. So how I can get a square of 6. So basically lambda function is a function which you can store inside a variable. So let's suppose I can store this inside a variable called as x, right? In any variable I can try to store it. And now I can try to even call x of 6. It is going to give me the output. So in one single line, see the difference. Both functions are doing same thing, right? So I'm just trying to teach you a other way, right? I'm just trying to teach you a different way of writing a same thing. No one is going to force you, by the way, to write a lambda or not to write a lambda, right? It will be your choice. But yeah, so my responsibility is to teach you so that if someone has written lambda function, you must be able to understand. And this is how lambda is going to work. Let me show you a couple of more examples so that you will be able to get a confidence, right? So here, let's suppose we have to write a function which will be able to check whether you are above 18 or you are not above 18. Yeah. So here you will enter the age and then it is going to check. So def and then age underscore checker age checker function I'm going to write. So here, as you can see, so you have to enter age. If age is greater than 18, return you are eligible to vote. Else return you are not eligible to vote. Normal function I have written. Now age checker, I can try to pass 20. It will try to check and then it will try to return accordingly. Fine. So if it will fall under this if, and we all know if statement, right? If else statement. So if it is falling under this if, it will return this, otherwise it will return this one. So age checker 20, you are not eligible for vote. Now same function I can try to write even in one single line in a lambda manner. How? Let's do it. So here age, I can give any variable over here. So let's suppose n, right? N over here. N is equal to lambda and then same function, exact same function. So on this side, I'm trying to enter age, right? And then I'm writing if age is greater than 18, return this side, left hand side, right? Else return this one. So same thing I have written in one single line. And sometime it creates a confusion, which is again a valid one, Right. That okay. So you are writing this or this, but with practice, you will be able to understand it will be like on your fingertips. That okay, fine. So this is the pattern that we have to write in case of a lambda. Input will always be here. One input, two input, three input, 10 input, whatever number of input that you would like to give over here, you can try to give over here. So lambda is a function which is called as anonymous function. There is no name to it. I am assigning this function to a variable just to call it, but there is no name to this particular function. So here I'm giving a name, age checker. Here I'm not giving any name. Don't say that n is a name. N is just a assignment of that function in a variable. I can directly use this function anywhere, wherever it accepts a lambda, basically, right? So here, let me show you something. So there is a function, there is an inbuilt function inside a Python, basically. So let's suppose here we have to use age checker. So n is equal to 17. So you are not eligible. So simple, it will take age and then it will try to, give me this output. Now, let's suppose uh, Satnanu is usually code of part and lengthy function using AI will be provided in the future if while applying for ML engineer job, do they test programming capability? Yeah, they do test programming capability. So I wanted a really good MI 3 months ready to give 4 to 5 6 hours. Dheeraj, you just have to give 1 2 hour, not 5 to 6 hour. Yeah, 1 2 hour is more than enough, but with consistency. What is the best method of this right so that code should be optimal and fast? See, even while writing a lambda or this one, right? We are not talking about optimization of the code. Complexity is going to be same, right? Complexity is going to be same because this is never going to increase or decrease your complexity of the code, not time, not space. So because time or space wise, it is going to take the same. So it is like going to give you the same O notation. If I'm trying to write loop or maybe something different, so then only complexity will try to increase or decrease. In this way, no, nothing. So in either way, you can try to choose. Generally, people choose to write a code in this manner. Yeah. But there is a function actually. So let's suppose we have a list, right? We have a list. We have a lot of data over here. Yeah. Now, uh, let me take okay. So fine. This list is fine. So now here inside this list, right, we have a lot of data. Now someone is telling me that try to do a square of all the data of a list and then give me a return. Yeah. Try to do a square of all this data inside the list and then give me return as a list. I can do that. So I can try to create maybe list L1 over here, which is an empty list. And then I write for I in L. So basically try to basically do a square of each and every data and then append, right? So L1 dot append what? So I of a square. So I will be able to get a square of all the data. Fine. A square of all data means literally all data. I'm not doing filtering. I'm just trying to do a square of every data, each data which is available inside a list. Now, same thing I can do it with while writing a function, right? There is something called as a map function, which is an inbuilt function, by the way. Yes, there is a function called as map function, which is an inbuilt function. What it does, so whenever I have to do same thing on every element, not a different things, exact same thing whenever I have to apply, for example this case, right, this case, not like I have a string, I have an integer and then I'm trying to do something different for a string, something different for that case will also come, right, that case will also come, I can write it down. But yeah, so whenever we have to apply almost a same thing or we have to map some logic technically with one of the element or one of the entity, we can try to use map over here. How? Let me show you. We'll do the same thing. Yeah. So here map, if you'll check the definition of map, so map takes two argument. One is a function, first argument, and second is a collection or iterable. Yeah, collection or iterable. As you can see, it takes function and then it takes iterable. So here function wise, I'm supposed to give a function which takes input, one input, yeah, which takes one input, and then it just return a square of it. Simple. So I can try to call a lambda over here. So which is going to take input x and it is giving me return as what? A square of x. Simple. Yeah, it is giving me. So this is my function. This is my function and then I'm trying to provide a data over here. So it will take a data and then ideally what it is trying to do. And then if I'm looking for an output, so maybe I can try to capture it in a output. Yeah. So this is giving me the same output. Now what it does internally? So internally, it is trying to take this function, right? This function. This function is taking one data. So it will take this and then map with the lambda. Then it will take this, map with the lambda. This is what mapping does. So map technically is not like just going through each and every element and then mapping everything with this particular function. So this function is taking one value and then it's trying to return me the square, right? This is what map does. Now this is not the only way to write this one, this particular map. I can even write a lambda control X outside, right? I can try to write a is equals to this lambda function. Yeah. In a variable, I can call a variable over here. Same thing, right? I can call a variable over here. Same thing, right? So a is what? A is this lambda function. It is going to work. Not just that. Let's suppose I'm writing a full scale function. Yeah. Full scale function, SQ function. Let's suppose I'm going to write, which takes one data input. Let's suppose it takes I and which returns what? I of a square. Okay, fine. Now inside this map function, instead of like calling this lambda function, I can try to call my SQ function. Same return you will be able to get. Meaning is very simple. Map needs first argument as a function. You can give lambda as a function. You can give normal function as an input. Doesn't matter at all. Very simple. So whatever function you will give, because lambda and function is both are same. It's not different actually, right? It's just a way of writing code. That's it, right? It's just a way of writing code. If you're not comfortable with lambda, don't write it. Don't do it. For example, yesterday I told you comprehension, right? Comprehension operation. If you're not comfortable with comprehension, don't do it. As simple as that. So lambda is also a way of writing a code, a shorthand you can say, right? So many time we try to do it. Even in case of a map operation, it's not like you should write a lambda. Basically, I can try to write a full scale function. I have done that, right? I'm calling those functions and it will work because map just need first argument as a function and it is doing a mapping. Simple function and then data, function, data, function, data. Yeah. Now, so let's suppose we have a list over here and inside this SUDH we have, let's suppose we have a Euron, we have 5 comma 6 comma 8 comma 9, this kind of a data. Yeah, this kind of a data. Now I wanted to basically do one thing, right? So wherever we have a string, do nothing. Wherever we have like a number, right? So in that case, try to basically, divide it by 2. We have a list, again, I'm repeating, we have a list over here. So wherever we have a string, do nothing. Wherever we have a numbers, integers basically, so try to divide it by 2 and give me a final list. One problem, right? I can solve it in many way. Many way means literally many way. I'll try to show you that part. See, so we have a list, right? This list L. And here for I in list, I can write if, right? If type of I is basically type of I is equal to integer, right? Let me create a L1 outside, one empty list. Fine. Sorry, type of I is equal to str, let's suppose, right? So in that case, do nothing. Do nothing means simple L1 dot append. Do nothing. Yeah, do nothing. Elif type of I is integer. So in that case, maybe what I can do, I can try to call L1 dot append, but append it after dividing I by 2. Simple, right? Else pass. Yeah, means do nothing. I'm not writing any logic over here. Else pass. Yeah. So just pass it on. Execute. Now here, if I'll check my L1, so wherever we had a string, it has not done anything as per the logic, right? Whatever logic that I have written. And wherever we had an integer, it has technically done what? It has technically divided by 2. Yes, divided by 2. Okay. So I'm able to solve my problem in one manner. Let's solve it in other manner. So maybe here I can try to solve it with the help of map function. Yeah, with the help of map function. So map function needs what? Map function needs a function as a first argument. What should be the second argument? My list should be the second argument. So okay, so second argument is list. First argument I should create. Function I should create, right? Let's go and let's create a function. So function is what? Like this is the function, right? So here, what we are supposed to do, like let me write it down. Def list fill. This is the function I'm creating, which will take input as a list, input as a single entity. So input as maybe like a B it is going to take, right? B it is going to take. And then it is going to check that if B is equal to string, return B. If B is equal to integer, return B by 2. Else, or I don't have to like write else for now, return B by 2. Yeah. So this is a function I have written. Now, like I said, so map does what? Map does a mapping with single element. Yeah, single element. In case of for loop, we are going through this entire list. In case of map function, the function which map requires, we don't have to go through it because it will try to put 1 1 1 1 1 1 values, right? 1 1 values. So for that value, we have to apply all the checks. So I'm checking if B is, so whatever value map will provide me, I'll try to check if B is a string, return it. If B is like an integer, return B by 2. Simple, right? Now I'll try to call this list fill function over here. So control list fill function over here. Now list execute. I'm getting none. Why none? I'm getting. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, sorry, my bad. I have missed type over here. So I'm checking type and I have missed type itself. So that is the reason it's giving me none. This is what I was wondering, that why it is giving me none. Yeah. Can I say we are able to get the same result as above? Yeah. And are you able to understand the difference? See how we are solving the problem. So map means the function that you are trying to provide, it should be mapped towards only one element, only one, right? In case of this, we are writing a for loop. We are trying to like go through it. Whereas map will try to do the job of for loop. For loop is going through all the element one by one. Here my map is doing that, right? Map is doing that and map is trying to map it. So either you can solve this problem in this way or maybe that way. Both ways are correct. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is like a right, basically, right? I mean, like both are right. Nothing is wrong. That should be the correct statement. Okay, fine. So that's amazing. So this is the map function. Now I can write even a lambda over here. Yeah, I can write a lambda over here. So let's suppose I am going to pass a lambda. Third approach, right? So I can write a lambda over here, maybe lambda lambda. And here I can try to write that it is going to take maybe input as B and then try to give me basically what? B if type of B is equal to str, str, right? Else give me what? Else try to give me B by 2. Same result. So I'm able to write even a lambda, right? So it is taking one values and then like it is trying to check if this is the case, do this, otherwise do this. So I'm able to get the same answer. So same problem, three different solution. I'm like solution, but outcome is going to be same. Yeah. So I can try to write these things in like any way of my choice that I want, right? And believe me, so once you will start doing a coding, so very soon you will be able to develop your own pattern. This is what happens with all of us, right? Just like language, right? Whenever we start speaking English, Hindi or something, so we all have our own pattern. We all have our own way of communication. So similarly, you will be able to find out your own pattern, your own way of doing a communication. So this is how map is technically going to work. Now there is another function called as filter function. Now filter function, as its name suggests, it's been used for doing some sort of a filtration. So for example, we have a list over here and we have this data, right? We are going to apply, let's suppose, a filter function, and we would like to filter all the even number, let's suppose. So I can write a filter function and I can try to basically write a lambda over here. Not just lambda, I can try to call full scale function as well. Yeah. So as per my wish, and it is going to give me the return of the data. So maybe I can try to wrap it up inside a list. It works on true and false, by the way. Yeah. So it will check. So here the function that you are going to pass, it should always return either true or false. Boolean, right? Because if it is true, return. If it is false, don't return. So here x percentile 2 is equal to 0. It will return always what? True or false. If true, give me the value. If false, don't give me the value, right? So this is what filter works. So filter's first argument is going to be always this one. There is another function you will be able to find out called as reduce, by the way. Yeah, there is a function called as reduce. You all will be able to find out. Again, reduce is also an inbuilt function. It's not like you have to use that reduce function forcefully. You can maybe opt out for the different approach. So here import reduce the see import reduce. I think by default reduce never works without import. Yeah, so now I remember. Import, there is a library. So reduce will not work directly. There is a library called as function tool. And then from there, from function tool, import reduce. Yeah. So there is a function called as map filter that we have already discussed. Map means just put the function, do the mapping, 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1 mapping. Automatically it will do it. Filter means so just take something and then if this is true, means as per the function, if it is true, give me the value. If it is false, it will not give you the value. Reduce means what? So reduce will try to reduce the total value. So how? Let me show it to you. So let's suppose we have a list over here and inside a list we have basically 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. Now reduce will try to help you out in terms of reducing all the values and giving you one final output. How and what I'm trying to say, let's try to understand. Now this is not again, so I always try to repeat that to do or to solve any kind of a things in any kind of a problem in a programming, there are hundreds of way, right? There are hundreds of way by which we can do it, and you can try to choose like a any of these basically. So here let's suppose we have L, right? We have list L, and someone has asked me that try to give me a summation of all the element. Yeah, summation of all the element. I can simply call summation of all the element. So I can simply call sum function over here and I can try to pass a list. I'm able to get the summation, right? I can even run a for loop. I will do the summation. It's possible. While loop, I will be able to do a summation. In other 5 way, I will be able to do a summation, right? There is another way by which I will be able to do a summation. And just to teach you reduce, I'm using it. REDUCE, reduce. Even in this way, I will be able to get a summation. So reduce, what I have done, I'm trying to pass a function. Function is taking how many argument? So reduce always try to accept a function which takes 2 argument. Yeah, 2 argument as of now. So here it is taking 2 argument and then it is trying to return what? A plus B. And how it is going to do, like if it is taking only 2 argument and we have many data over here inside this list, how it is able to return me 21, how it is able to do a calculation. This is what I wanted to explain to you. But like I said, reduce is not the only way. So let's try to understand, guys. It will be fun. how reduce is working internally. So we have a data 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5, comma 6. Now the function that I have written, it is taking two input at a time, two input, only two, right? So what will happen in a first iteration, A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2 by default. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2. And do what? A plus B. Do what? A plus B. So 1 plus 2, 3. Now this will become A, this will become B. Now do what? A plus B in a second iteration, second lap, you can say. So 3 plus 3, 6. Now this will become A, this will become what? This will become B. Do what? A plus B. So 6 plus 4, 10. Now this will become A, this will become B, right? So A plus B. Do what? So 10 plus 5, 15. Now this will become A and this will become B. A plus B. So like 15 plus 6, 21. We are able to get 21 as a answer. So this is how reduce is behaving internally. This is how reduce is, trying to do a summation and then finally it is trying to give you the output. Making sense, guys? Everyone, how reduce works? But like I said, reduce is not the only way of reducing the values or data. I can write my own custom code as well. But yeah, so generally some people will ask you this question if you are a fresher. Otherwise, they will not ask. Something sort of like a Fibonacci. No, I'll talk about Fibonacci. Just hold on. Just hold on for some time. Yeah. Okay. So this is how, guys, reduce is working. But like I said, so I can achieve same result in a different manner as well. Now, guys, so this is like a reduce and then map and then filter and then lambda that we have discussed, and normal function we have discussed, right? Normal function we have discussed. Now there are some function which is called as a recursive function. Yeah, recursive function. What is the meaning of recursion, by the way? English meaning. What do you understand by recursion? Only English meaning. I'm not looking for programming or like some technical meaning. Yeah. What is the meaning of recursion? Recursion means repeat itself, right? Repeating itself, right? Again and again and again and again. That is called as a recursion, right? This is the English meaning of a recursion. Yeah, this is the English meaning of a recursion. Now, same meaning you will be able to find out even programming. Not just in Python, by the way, in all the programming languages, you will be able to find out. It's just a way of like, doing things. Manu is saying adding. No, it's not adding. It's like calling again and again and again and again. Same thing. That is the English meaning I'm talking about. We'll try to understand what is the programming meaning very soon. Yeah. So there is a type of the function which we call as a recursive function. Recursive function means it will try to call, itself again and again and again. Yeah. So do you know factorial? Do you remember like how we calculate a factorial or what is factorial? I think in our childhood we all have learned that, right? So factorial of 5 is nothing but, or 5 factorial is nothing but, so 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 into 0. And factorial of 0 is what? By default, factorial of 0 is equal to 1, right? So basically factorial of 5 is nothing but 5 into 4, 20, 20 into 3, 60, 60 into 2 is equals to 120. So factorial of 5 is equal to 120. So factorial of 5 means what? 5 and then into 5 minus 1, then into 5 minus 2, then into 5 minus 3, then into 5 minus 4, then into 5 minus 5. This is the pattern. Yeah, I can write it down this entire things in this way, right? So 5 minus 0 into 5 minus 1 into 5 minus 2 into 5 minus 3 into 5 minus 4 into 5 minus 5. Can I say I can write this same thing in this way? The same thing, right? Nothing different. Yeah. This is called as factorial, by the way. Yeah. For any numbers, you can try to find out the factorial. So let's suppose I have to write a program for that. Yeah. Again, I can write a program in multiple way. Like I said, programming means I don't like say that you should follow my approach or just go ahead with the recursion in this situation. No, I can write it in my way. But yeah, let me show you this programming with the help of recursion. So here, what we will do, so we'll try to write a function, so which will try to give me a factorial of any number. I'll put the number. it will give me the factorial. I'll put 5, it should give me 120. Yeah, that is a function I'll try to create. So def, let's suppose FECTORIAL factorial I'll try to create, which will take a number, in any number I can try to give, right? Let's suppose I will try to give n over here. Yeah, I'll try to give n over here. And then we are writing this. Yeah, we are writing this. And this approach, the approach that I have adopted here, is called as what? It's called as recursive approach. Now, let me explain it to you how it is going to actually work, right? Because this is going to create a sort of confusion in many of you. Generally, people gets confused when they see a recursive call for the very first time. But believe me, I'll make you comfortable in next 5 minutes. Yeah. So here, let's say this is the function, right? So here we have, let's suppose n is equals to 5. This is the value of n I'm going to take. Now data will go inside this function, and then if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, I will return what? 1. Simply means that if factorial of 0 someone is asking me, or factorial of 1 someone is asking me, I'll try to return 1, because factorial of 0 is 1, factorial of 1 is 1. Simple, right? So whenever you are trying to do a recursive call, whenever, the first principle says that, a first principle of this, like a, we can say recursive call, says that you have to define the baseline. Baseline means the minimal possible value you have to define. Means when you will start decomposing yourself, the smallest unit value must be defined or must be constant. So in case of factorial, if I'll start breaking any numbers, doesn't matter, even a million, right? I will reach out to which number? Can I say I will reach out to always 0? In case of factorial, doesn't matter what number I'm going to pick. If I'll start breaking it down, even if it is a million, right? I will reach out to which number? I will reach out to 0 number. What is the factorial of 0? 1. Constant, right? Factorial of 0 is equal to 1. So bottom line is decided that, okay, even if I'll start breaking it down, I'll reach out to 0 and like 1, and factorial of 1 is 1, factorial of 0 is equal to 1. Okay. Now, this is the minimalistic possible line. Then we are coming to else statement. Yeah, we are coming to else statement. Now this statement is going to help me out in terms of breaking down the numbers. How? Let me show it to you that. So now you will be able to understand. N is equal to 5. So here n is equal to 5. Is it going to come in this block? Yeah, be with me guys for next 5 minutes. Otherwise you will not be able to understand, recursive call for the entire life. Yeah. Is it going to come here? No. Where it will come? It will come here, right? Because this is going to be false, this is going to be false. It will come here. Now, when it will come here, right? When it will come here, so what is a statement that we have written? So what it is going to return? It is going to return n into, I'm going to use f, by the way. I'm not going to write factorial full word. So I will be using f shorthand over here, into n minus 1. What is my n? My n is 5. 5 into factorial of 5 minus 1, right? So technically 4. This is something it is going to return. This is something it is going to return in a first call, right? In a first call, it is going to return 5 into function. This function itself, right? This function itself. So this function is this function actually. We are calling function inside a function. So basically we are trying to call ourselves, right? We are trying to repeat ourselves technically. This is what we are trying to do, right? We are trying to repeat ourselves. So here it is going to call this function itself. So now it is going to call factorial of 4. Factorial of 4 means what? Can I rewrite factorial of 4 is equal to, again it will fall over here. So 4 into factorial of 4 minus 1, which is 3. Yes. Then factorial of 3. So again it will call, because function has not ended, right? Function has not ended. It will be able to end itself when it will be able to exhaust itself. But it has not exhausted. Still there is a function, right? This function is running. So again 5 into 4 into factorial of 3 is what? 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1, technically 2. Then again 5 into 4 into 3 into function has not exhausted. So 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Now there will be factorial of 1. N is equal to what? N is equal to 1 this time. N is equal to 1 this time. Can I say now it will fall under if statement? Yes. Now it will fall under if statement, right? So if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, return what? 1. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Further, can I decompose it? Can I decompose it further? Do we have chance? No, right? So this is going to be your final output. This is called as a recursive call. It will keep on calling itself, right? Function will keep on calling itself, this function itself, right? Unless and until it is not going to exhaust its all the option. So this is how this factorial is going to work. I'll give you 3-4 more example so that you will be having a solid understanding about it. So here factorial of 5, factorial of 5. What happened? Okay, I have not executed it. 120, right? So just call it with any number and you will be able to see that it's working for you. As simple as that, right? It is working for you. So this is one example. Now, simply see, recursive call is just a funda, right? It's a concept. Simply means that I'm calling myself unless and until I'm not going to exhaust all of the options. So once I will exhaust the option, I will start doing the final calculation. I'll give you that as an output. Now, there is something called as Fibonacci series. So anyone is having an idea what is the meaning of Fibonacci series? Yeah. But it should return last number. Why it will return last number? It will return the whole number, right? It will not even, it is not returning. It is not returning in between. It will keep on decomposing it. It will keep on calling itself. Unless and until it is not able to exhaust itself, it will not return any value. That is the meaning of recursion. Yeah. So anyone who is having any idea of Fibonacci number? Again from childhood. Yeah. Okay. So see, Fibonacci number is nothing but it always starts from 1, right? And then 1. And then next number is going to be 2. Next number is going to be 3. Next number is going to be 5. Next number is going to be 8. Next number is going to be 13. Any pattern you are able to observe? Yeah. Any pattern you are able to observe? Yes. So first is constant, right? 1. And then after that, you must be able to see that next number is nothing but, right? First is constant. Next number is nothing but summation of previous two number. Next number is nothing but summation of previous two number. Next number is nothing but summation of previous two number. Next number is nothing but summation of previous two number. Again, next number is nothing but summation of previous two number. So in case of Fibonacci series, so basically next number is going to be a summation of previous two number and first number is going to be constant which is equal to 1. Yeah. So even if something is lesser than equal to 1, so in that case it will always return 1. That is something called as Fibonacci series. Okay. So let's try to write a program so which will be able to generate a Fibonacci series, right, till a certain unit or till a certain number. Fine. It will be able to generate a Fibonacci series. So let me write down a code for that. So here def. Okay, so Fibonacci series basically. And here, this is the code. Again, this is the recursive code. Code wise, it's very simple. Explanation wise, it will take some time. So see, here, let's suppose I'm going to call this Fibonacci series. And here, so if I'm going to give maybe like a 7 over here. Okay. So 7 if I have given over here, so it is returning me 8. If I'm going to give 10 over here, it is returning me 34. So basically what I'm expecting, if I'm, let's suppose if I'm like writing 4 over here, so it is giving me like a 2, right? Fibonacci series wise, if I'm writing 4 over here, it is returning me 2. If I'm going to write 6 over here, so it is returning me 5. So any idea, guys, so what it is trying to return? Yeah, any idea? Fibonacci series wise, what we are trying to return? No idea? No one? Sum. Hmm. Okay, so let me give you some idea. So here, 1, 1, next is 2, right? Next is what? Next is like 3. Next is what? So next is basically 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have given 6. Technically starting from 0, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sixth element is summation is sixth element is basically in a Fibonacci series. It's going to be 5. This is what like as per the logic it is trying to give it to me. Now let's suppose if I'm trying to give over here maybe seventh element, right? Seventh element is going to be what? 8. 8 is what? It is nothing but 5 plus 3, 8. So this is a seventh element, sixth element, fifth element it is trying to return. How it is returning? Let's try to understand. This is where this entire recursive things comes into a picture. So see over here. So here condition simply says that if something is lesser than equal to 0, it's going to be invalid input. So if I'm trying to say that try to return me a zeroth element, it is going to be invalid one. It starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as per my logic. Yeah. So if n is equal to 1, n is a first element you are looking for. It should return what? 0, right? If n is equals to 2, it should return what? 1. So this is the base that we have written. I told you, right? In case of a recursive call, you always define a base first, because once you will start decomposing, you will reach out to the base, and that base is going to help you out in terms of finalizing the values. So my base is what? If someone is looking for a first value or second value, so I know my first value, I know my second value. And can I say if I know my first value, if I know my second value, I can write down all the values after that? Again, I'm repeating. Can I say that if I know my first value and if I know my second value, based on this, I can write down all the values? Yes, because I know that next is nothing but summation of previous two. So first two I know, right? First two in a Fibonacci series I know. So next one is going to be 1, next one is going to be 2, next one is going to be 3, 2 plus 1, next one is going to be 5, next one is going to be 8, next one is going to be 13. So just based on first two value, if someone has told me this first two value, I can write the entire Fibonacci series till any length. Yeah. If someone is not going to tell me this, then obviously I can't do it. Will I be able to build a complete Fibonacci if I don't know the base? Sorry, yeah, Fibonacci. So if I don't know the base, no, right? So this base, and this is something which is important in case of a recursion everywhere. Even in previous example, I told you the same thing, right? Exact same thing I told you. So here I know the base. So I know basically 0 and 1, and I have written the condition. Now decomposition. So here we are writing Fibonacci n minus 1, n minus 2. I have given, let's suppose, 6 over here. So n is equal to 6. 6 means it should return 5. How it will return 5? Let me tell you that. So here Fibonacci f 6y 6 we have, right? So 6 minus 1. So anytime whatever value it is going to return, as per logic of Fibonacci, any value it is going to return you, right? So it's nothing but data minus 1 plus data minus, or that position, data minus 1, data minus 2. This is something that is going to be the next value. So here Fibonacci, if I have to return at sixth position, right? Fibonacci, if I have to return at sixth position, so it's nothing but a summation of data at fifth and data at fourth. Yeah, it's going to be a summation of data at fifth and data at fourth, right? So this is what it will do. 6 minus 1 plus Fibonacci of 6 minus 2. So data at fifth, data at fourth. Now both of this are basically available in a form of function, not in any number which I can return. So it will not return. It will not return. It will keep on decomposing it. So decompose this. Yeah. 6 minus 1. So basically it will become what? F of 5 plus it will become f of 4. Okay. Now again, let's try to decompose f of 5. So f of 5, if it will come, it will not fall under this, not fall under this, not fall under this. It will fall in a last statement. So f of 5 will become what? 5 minus 1, right? 5 minus 1 is 4 and 5 minus 2. So f of 5 minus 2 is equal to 3, right? And then on this side, right? On this side, uh, basically f of 4 minus 1, 3, f of 3 minus 1. So basically like 4 minus, sorry, 4 minus 2. So f of 2. Now here on this side again I'll do a decomposition. So it will decompose again in this format. So f of 4 minus 1, 3 and f of 4 minus 2, 2. Now f of 3 minus 1, 2 and f of 3 minus 2 is equals to 1, right? Now here, so f of 3 minus 1, 2, 3 minus 2, so f of basically 1. And then here, so f of 2 minus 1, 1, 2 minus 2, f of 0. Now here, one more decomposition. So f of basically I can say 3 minus 1, 2 and 3 minus 1, 2 and then f of 3 minus, 3 minus 1, 2 and then 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Decomposition. Then one more decomposition, so f of, let me do one thing. Let me write down this decomposition from here, from the top of this. So we have, or maybe I can take n is equals to 5. Yeah. So till fifth, we are looking for our data. So basically this will become this one, 5 minus 1, 4 plus 5 minus 2, f of 3. Then I will decompose further because it's available in a form of function, and unless and until I'm not able to decompose to a bottom label, I can't get the final value. So f of 4 minus 1, 4 minus 1 is what? 3 and f of 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Decompose this. So f of 3 minus 1, 2, f of 3 minus 2, 1. Decompose this further. F of uh, 2 minus 3 minus 1, 2 and 3 minus 2, f of 1. Okay. Decompose this further. So f of 2 minus 1, 1, 2 minus 2, f of 0. Now here f of 2 minus 1, 1 and f of 2 minus 2, 0. I can't decompose this further because f of 1 is what? If n is equal to 1, then what is the answer? What is the output? Yes, everyone. If there is a input is equal to 1, then what is the output? Can I say 0? Yeah. So I can't decompose it further. F of 0, if input is equal to 0, then invalid input. If f of like input is equal to 1, and even till 2 we have written it, right? Even till 2 we have written it, so we don't have to even decompose this further. Even this decomposition is not required, right? As per the logic, I can decompose it till 1 0, that's completely fine, but we have a value for 2, so only till bottom point, base point, we can try to decompose it. So even till this one, if I'm doing it, it's completely fine. As per this code piece, we don't have to do this. If like I can remove this one, then like maybe I'll have to do it. Yeah. So okay, so f of 2 and f of 1. So what is the value of f of 1? So value of f of 1 is basically 0, 0. What is the value of f of 2? 1. Okay, fine. So f of 3 is nothing but, f of 3 will become nothing but 1 plus 0. So f of 3 will become what? 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. So I am able to get a value from this side. Now from this side, let's do it. So f of 2 value is 1, f of 1 value is 0. So f of 3 is what? F of 3 is basically 1 plus 0, 1. So 1 over here. F of 2 directly I can write 1 over here. So f of 4 will become what? 1 plus 1, 2, 2, 1 and then like a plus 1 plus f of 3, 1. Total 3. Now, if I'm going to put 5, what is the value I'm getting? I'm getting 3. Even manually, if I'm going to write it down, right? Manually, even if I'm going to write it down, so it's going to be 0, then 1, and then like 2, and then 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fifth element is what? 3, right? Fifth element is basically 3. So I'm able to get the value. Let me explain you by taking some higher value once more, so that those who are not able to understand, this time you will be able to understand. I'm taking 7. Yeah, n is equal to 7. Okay. It will not go here, not go here, not go here. It will come here. It will try to break it down. So f of 7 minus 1, 6, plus f of 7 minus 2, 5, I can write it down. Yeah. Now further I will try to decompose 6 because it's available in a form of function. So further I'll decompose unless and until I'm not able to reach out to my bottom point, base point, right? So f of 6 is going to be f of what? F of 5, but 6 minus 1, and f of 6 minus 2, 4. F of 5 will become 5 minus 1, 4, 5 minus 2, f of 3. Now f of 5 will become what? So f of 5 will become 5 minus 1, f of 4, and then 5 minus 2, so f of 3. F of 4 will become f of 4 minus 1, 3, and f of basically 4 minus 2, 2. Now f of 4 will become basically f of 4 minus 1, 3, and then f of 4 minus 2, 2. F of 3 will become f of 3 minus 1, 2, and then f of like 3 minus 2, 1. Yeah. So now beyond 2, I should not break it. Simple. So beyond this line, I will not try to break this one. I will not try to break this one. This is fine. This is also fine. I don't have to break it down. This one. Maybe f of 3 I can try to break it down. So f of 3 will become 3 minus 1 is equal to 2, and then 3 minus, 3 minus 1, 2, and 3 minus 2, 1. I'll not break this one. F of 2 base value is available for that. I can try to break this one. So f of 2 and f of 1. Okay. I'll try to break down this one. F of 2 and f of 1. I'll try to break down this one further. So f of 3 and f of basically 2. I can try to break down this one further. So f of basically 2 and f of 1. Okay. So now I'm able to break all the element or all the, I can say, a child node into its bottom point, right? Into its bottom point. And everywhere it's plus. Everywhere when I'm breaking it's plus because it's a plus, right? Plus over here. So now I start putting up values. You will be able to get the final values. So I'll start putting up values one by one, one by one. So f of 2, 1. F of 1, 1. So over here, what is the value? 2. 1 plus 1, 2. So this f of 3 is nothing but 2. Okay. F of 2, what? F of 2, 1. So this f of 4 will become 2 plus 1, 3 over here, right? Then f of 2, 1. I think I have made some mistake. F of 1 is 0, right? F of 1 is 0. So 1 plus 0, this will become 1. My bad, guys. F of 1 is 0. So, so this will become like a 1 over here. Then f of 2 is 1. So 1 plus 1. So this is not 3. This is the only mistake. Yeah, 2. Now f of 2, 1. F of 1, 0. So this will become what? F of 3, 1. Right? So f of 5 will become what? 2 plus 1, 3. So here we have 3 values. Now start like calculating this. F of 2, 1. F of 1, 0. So f of 3, 1. Right? And f of 2, 1. So f of 4, 1 plus 1, 2 over here. So fine. Now start calculating this branch. F of 2, 1. F of 1, 0. F of 3, 1. F of 2, 1. 1 plus 1. So f of 4, 2. So 2 over here. F of 2, 1. F of 1, 0. F of 3. So basically we have like 1 plus 0, 1. Yeah. So now f of 6, 3 plus 2, 5. F of 5, 2 plus 1, 3. Total 5 plus 3. Value is what? 8. Now you can go and check. Value is going to be 8. So when n is equals to what? N is equals to like 7. Oh, I have entered value here itself. When n is equals to basically 7, value is going to be 8. We are able to get value is equals to 8. This is how calculation happens. So in us, it looks a little bit messy, but yeah, it's very, very simple. We have to keep on breaking it unless and until we are not able to reach out to the base point. And you have to give a base point. Then only calculation will start in a reverse direction, right? Now this is called as a recursive call. Means function will keep on calling itself unless and until I'm not going to exhaust all the option. Making sense, guys? It's very simple. It's just a mind mapping. Keep on breaking it down. Keep on breaking it down. Simple. Unless and until I'm not able to reach out to the base point. That's the only logic. There is no other logic in this one, by the way. Yeah. So hope all of you are enjoying it. New flavor, something new. Yeah. Fine. So actually, shall we do some like a couple of more recursive programming now? Yeah. Shall we do it? Or like, shall we not do it? Okay, let's do it. Let's do a couple of more. So, recursive call means keep on calling it unless and until I'm not able to reach the base condition. That should always come in your mind. Always. Always means literally always comes in your mind. Yeah. Okay. So here, right? Let's suppose we have a list. We have a list. And inside this list, I have like a couple of numbers. Yeah. I have a couple of numbers. Now, if I'm going to ask you to do a summation of this list element, yeah, if I'm going to ask you to do a summation of this list element, you will be able to do it, right? You will be able to do it. How? Just by calling summation of L, you will be able to do it. For I in L, and then going through the list element, you will be able to do it. By writing a function, you will be able to do it. There are multiple ways you can solve the same problem. I wanted to solve it in a recursive way. Same problem, recursive way. Yeah. I mean, like same problem I can solve in other ways, but yeah, let's do it in a recursive manner. So we have a list, right? We have a list over here. Now, what should be so we know that it will recursive means function will always fall in a base condition, right? What should be my base condition over here, guys? Yes, what should be my base condition? Base condition 2. Well, like, no, instead of 2, I can have any other element, right? See, today I'm passing this, I will pass this list. Immediately, I have to create a function, right? Function. So in case of function, I can pass any list, right? Any list with any numbers. So what should be my base condition in case of list? Yeah, base condition in case of list. Can I say, okay, think again. See, I told you, right? So whenever you are writing some program, especially in a recursive, so basically function will try to decompose itself. It will try to break it down. It will keep on breaking it down again and again and again, unless and until it is not able to reach out to the base condition. Yeah, base condition. So in case of this option, can I say, if I'll start doing a summation, we have to solve simple problem, right? Summation problem, but in a recursive manner. So if I'll start, decomposing this list, so it will always fall to the index 0, right? So what it will do, ideally what it will do, so it will always, whenever you will do a summation, even if you are going to call a for loop or something, right? So you will do a list of index 0 plus what you will do a list of index 1 plus you will do a list of, even you are going to call some function. So what it is doing internally. So recursive call. So list of index of 2, list of index of 3, list of index of 4, and so on. Let's suppose I have given you 100 element. I have given you inside a list 100 elements, sometime 1000 elements, sometime I have given you 5000 elements, right? Doesn't matter how many elements you have, it will always fall down to which element? Yes, it will always fall down to which one? Again, people are saying 2. I'm like, 2 is just a number here, right? I'll change the list. Index 0, right? Always it will try to fall down to index 0. right? And then index 0, and then add something with a next index, then add something with the next index, then add something with the next index, then add something with the next index. Yeah, this is something which is going to happen. Yeah, so it will always fall down to the 0th indexes. Okay, now let's write a code for that. This is going to be my base condition. So you have to figure out a base condition all the time. Now we have a list. I'll write a function over here. So def summation of a list kind of a function. Not in this way. In recursive call, I wanted to write. So I'll try to pass a list. Let's suppose I'm going to pass a list L, something like this, right? What it will do, so if not in, I can write over here, not in L, right? So if something is not in L, return 0. Else, do what? Do this. Invalid code. If not in L. If not in L. If not L. Yeah. So this is the recursive call, guys. This is the recursive call. Now here I can try to maybe call and I can try to pass this list. Summation is going to be what? 20, right? Maybe I can try to pass some different list over here. So yeah, some different list over here. So I will be able to get my summation. Yeah, 275 is a summation of this whole element. So whatever list I'm going to pass, it is going to give me the summation. Now, how it is working, let's try to understand, because I have written a recursive call. This is my recursive call over here. So here, logic is very simple. It's not tough or difficult at all. You will be able to understand quickly. So let's suppose I'm trying to pass this list. I'll take an example of this list. So L is equal to basically what? This one. Okay, cool. Now, I told you that it will always try to break down to the base condition. Yeah. So, and then with that, it will do summation, further summation. So here, my base condition is basically what? A list of 0. Plus, I can try to call a same function, right? Some SL I will call. I will call this function as summation of list SL. I'll try to call SL function and a list starting from where? So starting from 1 and then beyond. 1 and beyond means till last in slicing operation, right? We are trying to do. So now try to find out the summation of list 1 and beyond. Okay, fine. So this will try to extract this sublist or subset, you can say a sublist it will be able to extract. So this will become what? This will become this sublist, and still it is in a form of basically a function. Yeah. So still it is in a form of basically a function. So I will decompose. I have to reach out, right? So list of 0 plus now what will happen? So here this is going to be the sub list. And what is the value of list of 0? Value of this list of 0 is 2. So technically it is going to be 2 plus this subset starting from 1 till further. So now again list of 0. So for this subset of the list, this is the new list, right? What is the list of 0? So list of 0 is going to be 3 because list, this is subset, right? Plus summation of list 1 and beyond. So 1 colon. This is what we have written, 1 and beyond. Now list of 0. What is the value now of this subset? 3. Now what is the value of this? It's 4 comma 5 comma 6. This is the subset of the list. So 2 plus 3 plus again we will try to call list of basically 0. Yeah. Plus sublist of or sum of list of 1 and beyond. Yeah. So now we have this list. For this list, what is the list of 0? 4. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus what is the like a sublist? So sublist is nothing but my 5 and 6. Yeah. So 5 and 6. Now again further we'll try to decompose. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus sublist. So list of 0. So list of 0 will be 5, right? Plus sublist of basically 6 and beyond. Yeah. 6 and beyond. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus list of 0 for this. So list of 0 is what? List of 0 is basically list of 0 is basically 6 for me, and then there will be no element inside a sub list. So in case of if not in list, Return what? Return 0. My base condition, fall to base condition, so 0. So in this way, one by one, I'm trying to extract this data, and then finally I'm doing a summation. Making sense, guys? Yep. Breaking it down, same process, set the base, and then like what will be the decomposition, and then keep on decomposing it unless and until you are not going to exhaust the final option. So this is how this things is going to work. This is called as a recursive call by the way. Simple. Recursive call. So likewise, in a your assignments, I'm going to give you multiple questions with respect to recursive lambda and a function. Just try to like spend a lot of time over there for this entire week and try to solve as much problem as possible. Yeah. And those who have started just now, so maybe you can take your time and then you can try to solve, but solve it. That will help you out. That will build your base. And once your base is clear, believe me, machine learning, data science, big data, all those things are nothing. If your base is strong, you can learn all those things in no time. So yeah, this is it, guys. From my side, I believe we are able to discuss a lot of things today. So now, if anyone is having any kind of a question, so go ahead, raise your hand. We'll try to unmute you, and you can ask the question. Yeah, go ahead. Any question, guys, for me? So hope all of you have learned something. Yes. Dhananjay is having question. Yeah, Dhananjay, go ahead. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Dhananjay, go ahead.
S- Yeah, so just want to know few questions like answer. Basically, shorthand coding, like you told us, is it going to ask in interview generally?
No, no, no one is going to
I,
ask you.
it's like for normal learning purpose. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just for it's just for practice basically. See, whenever I'm trying to write a code, so it's not like only I will write the code. My team member will write the code. I will look into someone else's code and then I'll try to do something. So obviously, from my side as a coder, as a developer, I'm supposed to understand every scenario.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, that is the reason. So basically, you should know everything because you don't know, right? So your like a counterpart, your colleague is going to write a code in which pattern. Yeah, because every one of us, like I said, so coding is nothing but it's all about a pattern that we all eventually form. So if you are not aware about maybe a shorthand or lambda or maybe comprehension,
नहीं नहीं सर,
yeah,
आई एग्री, मगर वो शॉर्ट हैंड ना वो कभी कभी याद नहीं रहता, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट,
कोडिंग
सिंटेक्स थोड़ा सा ऊपर नीचे।
कोड कोड याद कौन रखता है? कौन सा लाइन याद होता है? मेरे को तो
मतलब
याद नहीं
जैसे
आता है।
फोर वाला पार्ट वो कौन से प्लेस पे होगा, जैसे आप
किसी को याद
कंडीशन
नहीं होता है, डोंट वरी, किसी को याद नहीं होता है। ठीक है, इवन आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, आई एम टीचिंग से लास्ट 8 ईयर। फिर भी याद नहीं है, बहुत कोडिंग भी उतना ही, कोडिंग तो याद ही करते हैं देखा जाए तो, किसी को याद नहीं रहता है बेसिकली। सी, आपको ऐसा लगता होगा अभी के लिए बिकॉज यू आर न्यू मे बी कि आपको याद करना है। टेक्निकली कोडिंग इज अ प्रैक्टिस, इट्स अ हैबिट।
सर आई नो वीबीए, आई एम डूइंग कोडिंग फ्रॉम लास्ट 11 years, मगर जो
सेम।
शॉर्ट,
या सो कौन से लैंग्वेज में?
मैं वीबीए में ज्यादा करता हूँ,
इसीलिए
सिक्वल
गड़बड़
में।
इसीलिए वो उसको ढंग से कोडिंग नहीं बोलते हैं वैसे।
मीन्स
आई मीन ठीक है, मतलब इट्स लाइक कि होता है ना एक फुल स्केल, जब आप एप्लीकेशन डेवलप करते हो, बैक एंड डेवलप करते हो, फ्रंट एंड डेवलप करते हो, ठीक है, फुल स्केल एक लाइक का पूरा एक यूज के सॉल्व करते हो, देन समवेयर यू ट्राई टू लाइक लर्न कोडिंग इन अ बेटर वे। बट या दैट्स ओके। इट्स लाइक यू विल बी एबल टू फॉर्म अ पैटर्न।
ओके
सिंपल, जैसे
सर,
कि
लैम्डा
आप मेरे से बात
के
कर रहे हो, राइट? हाँ।
लैम्डा के अंदर जैसे हम कुछ डेटा मैनिपुलेशन, जो इनपुट डेटा के अंदर जैसे आप डिवाइड करके फिर कोई फेल्स कंडीशन या कुछ भी
हम्म।
यूज कर सकते हैं क्या हम?
हाँ, कर सकते हैं, क्यों नहीं कर सकते?
उसका कैसे सिंटेक्स होगा सर?
लिख लो, आप लिख के देखो, मिल जाएगा। मतलब
ओके,
क्या करना चाहते हो लैम्डा में आप? लाइक इनपुट किया कोई डेटा
जैसे
उसमें?
आप, जैसे कोई इनपुट आया एक्स और
हाँ।
उसको डिवाइड करके फिर मैं उसको इफ एल्स कंडीशन में चेक करूं। मैं जस्ट अ यूज केस आई एम सेइंग।
ओके, सो आप बेसिकली बोल रहे हो कि ओके, सो इनपुट वैल्यू,
कुछ भी एक वैल्यू है
इनपुट
उसको डिवाइड बाय टू,
वैल्यू इन ओके
एंड
लैम्डा।
देन इफ इट इज कमिंग लाइक अ फोर इट शुड बी यस, और इफ इट इज नॉट इट्स अ नो।
टेल मी यस। ओके, हाँ कर सकते हैं, ये वाला आराम से कर सकते हैं, क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं? ये तो इजी है।
ओके,
तो इसमें अगर मेरे पास आप बोल रहे हो कि लैम्डा हमने लिखा, ये कोई इनपुट लेगा एक्स, और उसके बाद फिर आप बोल रहे हो कि हमको बेसिकली लाइक
डेटा
यहाँ पर जो है।
मैनिपुलेशन प्लस विद इफ एल्स कंडीशन, मतलब कि कुछ भी एनीथिंग,
ओके,
मल्टीपल लाइन ऑफ कोड।
नहीं बेसिकली आप बोल रहे मतलब देखो, आप ये बोल रहे हो कि आपको डिवाइड करना है पहले, ठीक है, तो आपको
हाँ
बेसिकली बोल रहे हो कि x/2 करना है, समथिंग लाइक दिस, x/2 करना है, एंड
सर,
देन।
योर स्क्रीन इज नॉट विजिबल, आई
ओके,
थिंक।
ओके, आई थिंक इट्स विजिबल नाउ, राइट?
या
ओके, सो यू आर सेइंग कि यहाँ पर हम x/2 डाले इस वाले लैम्डा के अंदर।
वो
And-
तो सर आपका एक तरह से
हाँ,
स्क्वायर की तरह हो गया, कुछ डेटा मैनिपुलेशन करके देन वी नीड टू परफॉर्म इफ एल्स कंडीशन।
तो यही तो डेटा
कुछ
मैनिपुलेशन हो
लाइक
रहा है।
मल्टीपल कंडीशन
डेटा यही तो,
मैनिपुलेशन होती है।
डेटा तो यहीं पर इनपुट कर रहे हैं ना हम, यही तो इनपुट जाएगा इस फंक्शन के अंदर।
हाँ, ये
हाँ,
जाके जैसे हम एक्स के ऊपर वाई रख के और वाई के ऊपर कुछ इफ एल्स कंडीशन कर रहे हैं।
सो बेसिकली जो भी ये रिटर्न कर रहा है, जो भी ये डेटा आउटपुट दे रहा है, ठीक है, इसके ऊपर आप बोल रहे हो कि
हम्म।
इफ एल्स करना है मेरे को।
जी,
ओके, ठीक है, सो इन दिस।
जैसे हमारे फंक्शंस होते हैं तो उसमें सर मल्टीपल लाइन ऑफ कोड्स
हाँ
होता
ठीक
है
है,
ना।
समझ गया, समझ गया, समझ गया, समझ
तो
गया।
लैम्डा इस पर्पस के लिए नहीं बना ना।
सो
जस्ट
इस
आस्किंग।
केस के लिए आप कर सकते हो, एक मिनट हम लिख लेते हैं इसका लैम्डा, ये हो जाएगा। सो बेसिकली ये वाला डेटा मेरे पास आया, इसको हमको कैप्चर करना है, और कैप्चर करके फिर मेरे को डाल देना है उसको if else में। ओके, ठीक है, तो इसको हम कर लेंगे कैप्चर पहले तो कैप्चर हम करेंगे x/2, एंड इसको हम रख लेंगे फॉर्मेटेड स्ट्रिंग में, लेट्स सपोज। कर सकते हैं, कर सकते हैं, एंड कैप्चर यहाँ डेटा हो गया, एंड उसको फिर हम पास कर देंगे किस में, तो हम पास कर देंगे, लेट्स सपोज कि यस नो में किसी में पास कर देते हैं, तो यहाँ बोल देते हैं हम कि यस, इफ एक्स परसेंटाइल कोई भी लाइक 2 इज इक्वल टू 0, एल्स नो। हम्म एंड इसको हम होल्ड कर लेते हैं किसी में, लेट्स सपोज बी में, बी, एंड देन यहाँ पर 5 हो गया।
ओके।
तो यहाँ पर 2.5 एंड देन नो आया। तो टेक्निकली मतलब ऐसा वाला
वेरी
आउटपुट हम यहाँ से निकाल।
कॉम्प्लिकेटेड।
सो यहाँ पर हम लोग ऐसा वाला इनपुट जो है नहीं, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है, ये कर हम एक्चुअली फॉर्मेटेड स्ट्रिंग ही रहे हैं यहाँ पर, कि यहाँ पर एक एक्स ले रहे हैं, और एक्स लेके हम लोग यहाँ पर लाइक x/2 कर रहे हैं, और उसके बाद फिर यहाँ पर हम लोग लाइक 2.5 आ जाएगा, एंड 2.5 को हम लोग फिर यहाँ पर चेक कर रहे हैं, तो यस देगा अगर वो डिविजिबल है तो, एल्स यहाँ पर नो देगा। तो दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ ऑपरेशन दैट वी आर डूइंग। आपका वही करना था ना कि आप एक
हाँ
इनपुट लो, एंड देन उसका जो आउटपुट आएगा, मतलब इसका जो आउटपुट आएगा 2.5, राइट, उसको आप
जी।
दूसरे स्टेटमेंट में डालो। तो
जी
कर
तो
सकते हैं, बट यार नॉट नॉट एडवाइसेबल, बिकॉज जो आपका आउटपुट यहाँ पर हम भी कैप्चर कर रहे हैं, फॉर्मेटेड स्ट्रिंग में कैप्चर कर रहे हैं, तो आई थिंक वी शुड नॉट डू इट, बट करने के लिए कर सकते हैं ऐसे हम लोग।
सर, सेम थिंग कैन बी यूज इन प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट व्हाट यू हैव रिटन, लाइक अ
हाँ,
लाइक अ स्ट्रिंग पार्ट।
कर सकते हैं उसमें, हाँ। आई मीन लाइक प्रिंट में नहीं कर सकते हो आप, प्रिंट तो नन रिटर्न कर देता है ना।
नहीं नहीं, द फंक्शन, द इनवर्ट, द कर्ली ब्रेसेस व्हिच यू हैव डू फॉर दैट मैनिपुलेशन, सो इट विल
हम्म।
गोइंग टू डू दैट सेम इन प्रिंट लाइन।
नहीं मतलब क्या बोलना चाह रहे हो आप, कौन सा करना है?
ये जो आपने कोट्स के बाद लिखा है, ये
हाँ,
मैनिपुलेशन प्रिंट भी कर सकता है क्या, मतलब कि
नहीं
नॉर्मल प्रिंट।
नहीं 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 नहीं, मतलब प्रिंट में आप प्लेस होल्डर कल हमने दिखाया था ना, उसमें भी कि फॉर्मेटेड स्ट्रिंग तो आप डाल ही सकते हो उसके अंदर। तो अगर फॉर्मेटेड
हाँ
स्ट्रिंग डाल रहे हो, तो फॉर्मेटेड स्ट्रिंग का मतलब यही होता है ना कि हम एक जगह से वैल्यू जो है दूसरी जगह पास कर रहे हैं टेक्निकली। यहाँ पर हमने क्या कर दिया, हमने फॉर्मेटेड स्ट्रिंग कर दिया, तो इसका मतलब ही सिंपल सा ये होता है नॉर्मल पाइथन लैंग्वेज में, कि भाई इसका जो वैल्यू आएगा उसको हम अगले बार पास कर रहे हैं, इसका इसका मतलब पास करवा रहे हैं, ठीक है। तो अगर आप प्रिंट में भी करोगे तो वहां भी चलेगा ये चीज,
ओके।
या
नहीं
कहीं पर
सर,
भी जो
जैसे
फॉर्मेटेड स्ट्रिंग
प्रिंट,
समझता है।
आई एम नॉट श्योर इन पाइथन, लाइक इन वीबीए वी हैव, इन प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट वी कैन यूज आई आई एफ प्रिंट, मतलब कि आपका प्रिंट के अंदर भी आप मतलब कि नेस्टिंग इफ एल्स चला सकते हैं, मतलब कि आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट पाइथन, मगर
नो,
उसमें
पाइथन के
पॉसिबल
अंदर
है।
यहाँ पर प्रिंट के अंदर डायरेक्टली इफ एल्स नहीं चला सकते हैं आप बेसिकली। प्रिंट का यहाँ पर पाइथन के अंदर मतलब होता है कि प्रिंटिंग समथिंग इन अ कंसोल जस्ट फॉर द लाइक लॉगिंग पर्पस, ताकि जो सामने वाला यूजर है वो देख सके। तो
हम्म।
दैट इज द रीजन प्रिंट इज बिन डिजाइंड और बिल्ट इनसाइड अ पाइथन और एनी इक्विवेलेंट पाइथन प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस।
ओके सर, मेरा एक इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, जैसे इंटरव्यू होते हैं पाइथन
हाँ
में, दे आर थाउजेंड मे बी इन लैक्स ऑफ फंक्शन नेम। आई
हाँ
डोंट
हाँ।
रिमेम्बर फंक्शन नेम, मतलब
No one will ask you a function. People will ask you to write a function, but not they will never ask you about the function basically.
मीन्स
Means they will never ask you to write they will never ask you to write or talk about, they will never talk about the inbuilt function. This is what it means.
if they gave some program
हाँ,
and
they
that
will they will
required
ask
some,
you to write a function. I said they will ask you to write a function, but they will never talk about the inbuilt function, basically. And yeah, so if you remember some inbuilt function, then you have to use it and then you have to solve that problem. If you don't remember, then write a custom function for that.
okay, but
Yeah.
they never ask correct like exact name of it.
नहीं, एग्जैक्ट नेम क्यों आस्क करना है, मतलब उसके लिए तो लाखों फंक्शन है, फिर तो लाखों फंक्शन का नाम याद रखना पड़ेगा। कौन पूछता है
अब वही,
इंटरव्यू में? इंटरव्यू
आई डोंट नो।
इंटरव्यू में इंटरव्यू में पर्पस होता ही नहीं है मेमोरी चेक करना, और अगर कोई इंटरव्यू पूछ दिया, उस इंटरव्यू से आपको भाग जाना चाहिए,
ओके
बिकॉज पीपल आर
सर,
चेकिंग योर मेमोरी। सो जस्ट इमेजिन द काइंड ऑफ वर्क दे आर गोइंग टू गिव यू वंस यू आर गोइंग टू ज्वाइन,
ओके
right? We as a coder are not like something, someone who memorize everything. We are not a robot, right? Yeah, we write logics. This is what we do.
ओके
Yeah.
सर, जो आपका रिकर्सिव जो आपका फंक्शन, मतलब कि जो हम बना
हाँ
रहे थे, दैट कैन बी
हाँ।
इजीली अचीव बाय यूजिंग लूप्स, सो व्हाई वी आर like separating into different like a category.
बिना उसके भी कर सकते हैं ना, हमने तो समेश सम कॉल करके ही मतलब कर दिया था वो, राइट? अगर लिस्ट का
नहीं,
समेशन करना है या फिर कुछ और भी करना है तो that can be done, and I have repeated multiple times in my today's class itself that same thing can be done in 10 other way, right? Recursive is
so
one of the
the,
way of
there
doing
is no
it.
like a specific reason, like anyone can build. If I'm
Some
going to,
Yeah, sometimes. So yes, there will be a complexity reason which you will be able to understand better if you know about a time complexity and space complexity. So sometime it is going to give you advantages over to it. But yeah, apart from that, there is no other advantage you will get.
ओके सर, एक मेरा लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, जो हम
Hmm.
फंक्शन बनाते हैं उसको स्टैंडर्डाइज कर सकते हैं क्या? मतलब कि वी, लाइक इफ आई वांट टू रन ऑन अनदर मशीन,
Hmm.
like I don't want to share whole code,
Hmm. Hmm.
so can
Hmm.
we do that?
You can do that. For that, you have to publish it on a PyPy basically, and from PyPy you have to do the installation. So if you'll go and check PyPy repository, so PyPy is a repository where like people used to publish their work and their like codes and their packages and their functions. So even we have PyPy, and going forward, even you are going to download. So here, if you will search Euron, so we have also published a lot of packages over here. With a name like a Euron, and you can even search with a specific name Yuri. So with Yuri Euron, so Yuri AI is already published, and this is basically a package from our side. So even we do that,
Okay,
and
so
even you can do that.
does it require big piece of coding, or is it a simple code we
It's a
can use?
same coding basically. So same that you have done over here inside a Jupyter notebook. So instead of doing it into a Jupyter notebook, I will create a .py file over here, and then inside py file I'll keep my function, and then I will create an account on a py. It will give you a token, and then I'll try to publish it. It's just a two more line, or you can say a piece of the things. And if you would like to learn this, then I will give you my own video which I have published. So just go to Euron YouTube channel, and inside Euron YouTube channel, uh, PyPy, you can try to search. Yeah. So here is a video where in a step-by-step manner I have already talked about how to build your own PyPy package. And see, I'm writing a simple function. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, right? No, not a fancy function.
तो सर इसके अंदर कोई रूल होता है क्या, जैसे मैं कोई
नहीं, कोई रूल नहीं
किसी
होता है,
की
कोई रूल नहीं,
स्टैंडर्ड?
कोई रूल नहीं होता है इसके अंदर। बेसिकली आपने अगर यहाँ पर फंक्शन लिखा हुआ है, तो एनी ऑफ दिस फंक्शन आई विल बी एबल टू कॉल इन एनी अदर फाइल. So once I'm going to talk about the packages, or maybe just watch this particular video, so you will be able to understand. सो बेसिकली
सर
आपने
नहीं, मैं
हाँ
कॉपीराइट प्रोस्पेक्टिव से कह रहा था, जैसे हम कोई स्टैंडर्ड लाइब्रेरी यूज करेंगे, जैसे
नहीं नहीं
मेरे को
नहीं,
कुछ।
लाइब्रेरी जब आप पब्लिश करते हो ना, कॉपीराइट उसमें कुछ होता ही नहीं है, क्योंकि लाइब्रेरी जब आप पब्लिश करोगे ना, तो आप हमेशा अपनी लाइब्रेरी का नाम दोगे। ठीक है, और वहीं से कॉपीराइट हट चुका होता है। कि वो पैकेज हो सकता है कि वो सेम मेथड किसी और ने लिखा हुआ है, कोई 10 लोगों ने या 50 लोगों ने और भी लिखा हुआ है, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं
हम्म।
पड़ता है, क्योंकि वो कॉल ही होगा आपके लाइब्रेरी डॉट मेथड के नाम से। तो वहीं से
ओके।
वहीं से एग्रीगेशन हो गया ना बेसिकली।
ओके। तो सर जैसे कोई पेरेंट में चेंज करता है तो हमारे पे भी डिफर पड़ता होगा फिर,
हाँ
जैसे कोई
ऑब्वियसली
आप।
ऑब्वियसली पड़ता है, तो इसीलिए तो वर्जन क्यों होता है, वर्जनिंग आप सुनते हैं ना। हर कोडिंग हर प्रोग्रामिंग में तो वर्जनिंग होता है ना।
ओके।
व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ वर्जनिंग देन? सो अभी पाइथन का 3.14 चल रहा है, कुछ देर पहले 3.13 यूज कर रहे थे। 6 महीना और वेट करोगे 3.14 आ जाएगा, तो ऑब्वियसली पीपल हैव एडेड सम मोर पीस, और मे बी दे हैव फिक्स्ड सम ऑफ द बग, राइट। तभी हम लोग माइनर और मेजर वर्जनिंग बजाते हैं, राइट। इवन व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू पब्लिश समथिंग, जस्ट यू कैन चेक आवर पैकेजेस, सो यूर ऑन पैकेज एज वेल, you will be able to find out not just one version but tons of version actually. We have published, and you can check all the previous versions. So download, yeah, release history, see how many versions we have published
ओके।
for the same
नहीं
package.
सर, जैसे मैं कोड ज्यादा नहीं, जैसे मैं डेटा फैचिंग करता हूँ, तो
Hmm.
आई कैन मेक सम लाइब्रेरी स्टैंडर्ड कोड विच आई डोंट वांट टू मूव टू अदर मशीन, सो जस्ट आई
Hmm.
कैन इंपोर्ट थ्रू एंड यूज इट।
तो
दैट्स
उस
माय थॉट इज।
ओके, सो उस केस में तो आपको जरूरत नहीं है पाई पाई की, फिर तो आप लाइक सेम पैकेज, जैसे कि आपको बेसिकली क्या करना है उस केस में, आपको बस यहाँ तक आगे रुक जाना है। यहाँ तक ये कैलकुलेटर डॉट पाई के अंदर हमने पैकेज लिखा, मतलब इसमें हमने अपना फंक्शन लिखा ना, यहाँ तक आगे रुक जाना है।
हम्म।
और ये फाइल आप कहीं और इंपोर्ट कर लो, एंड देन यू विल बी एबल टू कॉल दैट फंक्शन इन अदर फाइल्स।
ओके। तो सर ये जो फंक्शंस होते हैं दैट कैन वर्क ऑन एनी लाइक प्लेटफॉर्म, लाइक इफ आई एम गोइंग टू यूज गूगल कोलैब इट विल गोइंग टू वर्क इट।
हाँ, एक एक बात बोलना चाह रहे हैं धनंजय आपसे, आप ना थोड़ा सा कोड लिखना शुरू करो। आई थिंक यू आर like not aware about coding, the kind of a question you are asking. Believe me, that's my personal like opinion. And as a teacher,
सॉरी सर।
so yeah, as you have asked me, I think my screen is visible, right? So I'll just show you. आप कोड करोगे ना तब, क्योंकि जिस तरह से आप क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो ना, आई कैन सिंपली सेंस कि आपको कोडिंग नहीं पता है। सी, टेस्ट डॉट पाई हमने बनाया, पाइथन फाइल, फॉरगेट अबाउट जुपिटर नोटबुक फाइल। अब इसके अंदर हम क्या करेंगे, इसके अंदर हम ना दो चार फंक्शन लिख देते हैं। डेफ हमने लिख दिया यहाँ पर, कुछ भी लाइक आज ही हमने बहुत सारे फंक्शन लिखे हैं, तो इसी को हम यहाँ पर कॉपी पेस्ट मार लेते हैं। ठीक है। अ, क्योंकि आप जब पूछ रहे हो ना कि जुपिटर कोलैब में भी यूज कर लेंगे, तो देन इट्स दैट क्वेश्चन इज स्ट्रेंज। उसके पहले तो क्वेश्चन ठीक था, बट
नहीं सर, जैसे
नहीं,
आपका
तो तब
सिलेनियम के पैकेजेस नहीं चल पाते वहां
भाई, तो
कोलैब पे।
आप सिलेनियम से क्यों कंपेयर कर रहे हो? आप हर चीज को वीवी कोड और जो सिलेनियम आपने पहले पढ़ा हुआ है, क्योंकि दैट इज अ ओल्ड टेक्नोलॉजी, दैट इज अ ओल्ड थिंग। आई डोंट नो हार्डली हाउ मेनी पीपल आर यूजिंग इट इन इंडस्ट्री। आप उससे क्यों कंपेयर कर रहे हो? आप पाइथन पढ़ रहे हो ना, तो ट्राई टू डू अ कंपैरिजन विद द लेटेस्ट थिंग्स, राइट। बट और मेरा फीडबैक आपके लिए यही था ना कि आपको शायद आपने पाइथन नहीं करा हुआ है। हाँ, जो आप कर रहे हो तो अलग बात है। ठीक है, मे बी।
हाँ, ये फर्स्ट टाइम आई एम डूइंग पाइथन।
एग्जैक्टली exactly, हाँ, तो इसीलिए हम बोले कि आपको करना चाहिए और आपको असाइनमेंट सॉल्व करनी चाहिए। आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू लाइक गिव एन आंसर टू दिस। सो लेट्स सपोज कि आई एम लाइक गोइंग टू कॉपी अ मल्टीपल फंक्शंस। ठीक है, एक फाइल के अंदर ये फंक्शन अवेलेबल है, अब मेरे को इसको यूज करना है एक और नए फाइल में। हमने यहाँ क्या किया, न्यू टेस्ट करके कुछ फाइल बना लिया, डॉट पाई फाइल। ठीक है। अब यहाँ पर मेरे को ना फंक्शन यूज करनी है, मेरे को फंक्शन बेसिकली लिखना नहीं है, फंक्शन मैंने लिख दिया यहाँ पर। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर हम क्या करेंगे, इम्पोर्ट। So basically, or I can say कि from basically test, right? So import what? So try to import this sum list and then Fibonacci. Okay. So try to import sum list and Fibonacci. So देखो हमने ना यहाँ पर फंक्शन लिखा भी नहीं है, but still I will be able to use it. So sum list, I can pass a list directly over here, and it will give me the summation. I can try to call a Fibonacci directly, and then I will be able to pass a data. I will be able to get the final result. Although this function is not available in this file. Yeah, this function is available where? In this file. And it's basically something which is available in all the programming languages. So you write a function once and then you use it in any other given file, in any machines as well. So if someone is looking for my like a code, or maybe this they would like to use this particular function, I'll just pass this file, Python file to them, and just say that okay, fine, go ahead and use it. I don't have any issue, right? If I have to make it global, In that case, in case of Python, there is a PyPy repository for which I was like recommending you this video. Making sense?
Thank Yes, sir.
So it's a programming. In programming, everything is possible. So when we say like, is it possible? My answer will always like, yes, it is, because it's a programming. Yeah.
Thank you,
I
sir.
mean, yeah, thanks. So now Sunil is asking me a question, and please try to solve some like a question, everyone. Otherwise, even after 10 classes, 20 classes, you will end up asking some question which is like which you should not. So try to like work little bit, at least half an hour, 45 minutes on a daily basis. Believe me, that is the only way by which you will be comfortable. Otherwise, there is no other way. Yeah, FIFA, go ahead with the question. Yeah, go
Good
ahead.
evening.
Yeah.
My question was how to take 10 inputs at once.
Sorry, how to take?
10 inputs. In assignment, you have given take
How
10
to?
inputs from user.
Okay.
So,
uh,
should we write 10
loop
different
it,
lines?
loop it. So just try to use a range and then inside that loop it.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
not getting it.
No, so basically what I'm trying to say that if you have to take a 10 input, so you have, input function, right? We talked about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So just try to run the input function into a loop with the range.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you are looking for a parameterized input, means first time this input, second time this input, third time this input, means all the inputs should be different. Again,
Yeah.
condition
All
is going to
the
be.
inputs should be different to positive and negative integers.
Yeah, so
And
every time input is supposed to be different, then simple, just try to parameterize it. So one time, maybe I can write in this way. So for I in a range of, maybe I can say go till 10, go till
your
10.
screen is not visible.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yeah.
Okay. So where am I? Where is my screen? Fine. So here I'll try to run my like a for loop for 10 times, and then I will try to call my input function over here. And then maybe what I can do, so I can try to uh, parameterize it. Okay, this is one of the way by which I can try to write. For loop is one way. Let's do with the while loop. So while true, keep on checking it. True. Okay. And then input input enter something, and then whenever user is going to input, let me capture it inside a something called as numbers. Okay. And then I can try to check if length of numbers is equal to 10. So what was the assignment question? Positive, negative, it was looking for, or
It
it was,
was looking for a negative, then break.
sorry, which one?
Uh, Let me read.
Yeah.
Write a program to take 10 inputs from the user. Stop
Hmm.
taking inputs if the user enters a negative number.
Okay. So basically, take a 10 inputs from the user and stop taking a input. Fine, that's a very simple problem then. So what I will do, I'll try to take I in a range of basically 10. Very simple problem. And then we have to run this loop, and we have to take the input, input, and here I can write to the user that give a input. Fine. And when user is going to give a input, I will try to typecast it into integer. And then I'll try to capture it maybe as a number. And then I'll try to write over here that if number, number is lesser than 0, which is like technically a negative as per the statement you have made. So if number is lesser than 0, so in that case, break it, right? In that
Okay.
case, just break the entire loop, else continue. So else continue, and it will continue for 10 times basically, right? Okay, now check. 4 fine, 4 fine, 3 fine, 6 fine, 2 fine. When I'm entering -2, breaked.
Okay.
This is the solution. Simple.
I was just confused about the first part.
Okay.
This
Just
loop, for
yeah.
loop,
Okay,
for
fine. Got it.
input.
Okay, got it. So otherwise, break and continue we have discussed, right? Both
Yeah,
we are
yeah,
able to use it here.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So fine, guys. With that, thank you so much. I'm going to upload the assignment. So try to solve the assignment. That is very, very important for all of you, and especially in the initial days when you're trying to build a basic of these programming language. That will help you out a lot. With that, thank you, everyone. See you again next week, same time, Saturday and Sunday. Take care, everyone. Bye.